You know how I get down on a Friday? The only way I know how. The old school way. Hanging out with my buddy, jamming old school freestyle.
Good morning, good evening, or good afternoon, depending on where and when you're watching this broadcast. I'm Thomas Fessa, my friends, and this is Disclosure Tonight. Wow, look at that. Friday, June 26th, almost at the end of the month, almost halfway through it. You know what? Disclosure's actually moving forward. What the fuck? It's supposed to stop. No, it's not. And we're going to talk about the disclosure form. And yes, Paulina Luna has locked up whistleblower anonymity, my friends. It's going to be a good one. But before we get there, let's go ahead and welcome our live audience. Yeah, it's a live show. Go figure that. Let's go ahead and see the participants we have in the chat. What do we have out there? Let's welcome in Anne Marie. We got April and Brennan England. I see Brains is in the chat along with BWC. We got Clear Path, Dragon Rider FPV, Easy Eye, Eliza Teal, Elvis Roten, and Firefly. Would you look at that? We've got First Contact. Would you look at that? Well, look at this. We have First Contact, Francis Tremblay, Geraldine Durazio, Gizmo's out there, along with Hobbit Mouse. Who else? We've got Jan. Good to see you, my dear lady. Love you. Thank you for being with us today. J Cat Meow, Joe Has Gas, Joey Spades, and Kelly Bro with those piercing blue eyes. As always, Kelly, love to have you here. Kiwi DJs are on, along with Logan Longballs, Lori G, Magnum, Minnow Pooh, and Mr. Grimlock. Yes, Mr. Joey B's around along with Ms. Cussout. We got Niles guy. Yeah, look at this picture. Here's our resident pitbull, literally. PC Anderson's there along with, although he's probably from Niles, Illinois, but you never know. Perfectly Imperf along with Psychosmatic Addict Insane. We got Rachel Osborne, Riff Raff, Robert Vargas Jr., Scooby Dooby Gooby, Stabilize, Steve Hines, Shelley Montgomery. How about that, Steve Mateo, Supercharged Land Cruiser, Sweaty Nerd, Tamisha Bertrand from Washington. Good to see you. We got Teresa Loves, our president, the Truth Master, Warp Drive, Wasteland Wonders, 666, and damn. All right, let's get back into the studio here and finish this off. We got Weedlander, Wendy Joe, good to see you, Wolf Dog, X42B, and Yellow Tommy Tanker, also known as Andy, and Red Nose again. Who the fuck cares? It's part of my je ne sais quoi. Oh boy. Mike, how the hell are you doing, my friend?
I'm sure. Doing well. Fuck You Friday seems to be in full effect. And we're going to have a good show tonight.
Yeah.
We have a lot to talk about.
I had to bring in that guy from New York. At the beginning, I saw it. And so, you know what? He's talking about Friday, having a good time. And people are like, what the hell is that? And some people are like, yeah, don't worry. I'll only play it on Fridays.
Yeah, okay. It could be a little bit annoying, but it's okay.
I've had Italian friends from New York, haven't I, Mike?
Yes.
But you're not like that guy. You're not like 500 pounds.
No, not at all. A little bit more
like
educated
I was
than
before
that
COVID
person.
hit, and I took all those wonderful drugs that kind of prednisoned me.
Yeah, yes. I'm familiar. I dealt with prednisone as well.
You don't usually don't drive around on a rascal because you're 500 pounds. So, yeah.
No, I do not.
No.
Far from it. But that's okay.
It's all the small things that people say that sometimes just get underneath your skin. But you know what? As my grandmother used to say, take all those trolls, let it go in one ear and frickin' fly out the other, right?
Yeah, but you know what? Here's the thing. It's disinformation. And it's not true or accurate, so it really has little to no meaning because what they're saying is complete nonsense.
No, what they said, yeah. That's all right.
Yeah, so it doesn't mean anything because they don't know what they're talking about, so you just ignore it. I do.
Well, we try to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. Wow, what a week. What a day. God, yes, I'm sorry we didn't come back on last night. I did not feel like sitting at the desk for 2 more hours in the studio under the lights, and I actually hung out with the crew we have in the back. We had like 23, 25 people in the back, and we're hanging out, looking at the stuff and covering the stuff we're going to cover tonight because I just didn't feel like sitting in front of the camera. So you know what? I guess, Mike, if we're going to have a night where we've been going so many nights and we need to go do a double duty show, I may just pop off camera, but if I'm going to do that, I'm still going to need, I got to figure this out, multiple screen setup.
Yeah. Well, because I mean, look, Yeah, we've been doing this like 6 days in a row now. Every week.
Months.
Yeah. Yes, for months. Exactly.
And we said that, look at what's going on, right?
Mm-hmm.
We need to go ahead and increase the number of shows we've got going on, because we said that if Disclosure was going on right and the news came back, we'd be back. Whether we
and
liked
we
it or
have
not.
been. And we have been. Right.
Oh, yeah.
And it shows. People have been taking notice. Yeah, it's a good thing, actually.
Oh, God, yeah, absolutely. So I want to go ahead and blow this up here a little bit here for everyone to go ahead and see. This was part of the audio we couldn't hear yesterday.
Right.
There was a lot of audio we couldn't hear in that 8-hour fucking live stream we did the other day. But
yeah,
rumor has it, Lester Nair has said that he is going to get a video out there with the audio repaired, and that a bunch of people are working on it right now.
Right.
You know what this reminds me of? Remember the first Soul Conference, and they said they had screwed up the audio and different things?
Oh, my God, it was horrible.
A while
really bad, yeah.
To fix it?
Yeah.
Like 6 months. But maybe he could use those people for free, but,
Well, you know what they say, right? When you get it for free, you get what you pay for.
Yeah, that's true. That's true, Mike. It's true.
Exactly.
All right. So there was a post before I cover anything. I have to show this because the audience, we had a lot of people watch it the other day, and we were just like, what the hell? I did warn. I warned the audience, and I should have warned Lester, right?
Yeah.
That there's going to be problems with the audio. I said, you know what? Let's hope they get it right, because the last 2 times they tried doing this, they fucked up the audio in both circumstances. Let's hope they get it right this time.
You said that for a week every day before the actual conference, and you were right. You warned the audience, this is what's going to happen, and it did. The problem is, I think some of our audience members weren't sure if they were doing it or it was us.
It wasn't us.
Oh, it definitely wasn't us.
All right, so let's get to our usual view of Thomas and Mike. Yes, there we go. A little bit smaller to go down with this. Okay, so Lester Nair, who was the director of operations.
Right, he is.
For the Disclosure Foundation. It was free. Everyone in person was able to get a great seat. Any media outlet was able to rebroadcast without fucking audio. And we lost the start of Christopher Mellon's speech, like 9 minutes of it, 8 minutes into it. We didn't get anything because no one pressed the button to start streaming. It was a bipartisan, bicameral. And you know what, Mike? For hours after the show ended, they didn't actually click the button to end the stream.
Nice.
We donated $10,000 to Vanguard, but apparently, look, they're showing a picture. Mike, they did have free refreshments.
Oh, did they?
They did.
What exactly were the refreshments? Does it say?
We have Sprite, we have Coke, we have Diet Coke, and some other stuff, some water and coffee.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. They went out. They splurged.
Yeah.
I'm being sarcastic.
Still saying they should have had lunch, and if they couldn't get anyone to cater, they could have reached out to Tim Burchett and gotten him to cater his peanut butter sandwiches for like $5 a piece. It's a political donation and a peanut butter sandwich. Who doesn't love peanut butter sandwiches?
Oh, everybody does, unless you have a peanut allergy.
Right, especially without jelly. Try and talk after taking a couple bites of that.
Yeah, it won't go too well.
All right, so I did say one thing, and I've been the only person who Lester has actually replied to.
Right.
And I asked a very nice question. Will a video with full audio be released to the public? For those not in person, we lost a lot of what was said.
Right.
See? And he said, yes, we have a team working on this. Thanks, Lester. Wonderful day. And there's a lot of people who gave him a lot of good comments and stuff, but Lester didn't reply to any of them. Just the one saying about that audio.
Right.
We'd love to get it right.
We do.
Yeah. Okay.
And it shows with the show that we put out there.
And I wasn't mean, was I?
No, not at all.
We like Lester.
Yeah, we
He's a
do.
great
He's
guy.
a nice guy. He's a nice guy. Yeah.
You know, actually, if I look at my screenshots from yesterday, I think I got some good screenshots of this. I'm going to go to my pictures and come on, get to the top. Need to show the, all right. Couple good screenshots from yesterday. Little personal one here. Lester reaching out to, look at that. Reaching out to Jordan Flowers. Hey, I've got the audio taken care of. I think that's what it was about. Or the audio wasn't working. I think that was the audio wasn't working. We need to go ahead and fix it again.
Probably the last one. Yeah.
Yeah, probably. But, you know, he worked really hard and he tried even harder. Where in the fuck is that at? God damn it. All right. So I've got the other pictures and the other one I wanted to show. And we had Mike Rounds coming and saying what?
Briefly, very briefly. We had Mike Rounds.
Sorry, Mike. I got to show this. It's your bad side. You better get UAPDA passed because otherwise we're going to share this with everybody.
Yeah. Bad comb over.
Yeah, he's in a point now, right, Mike, where he could use a good toupee.
Yeah,
with all the money he makes, he could afford it.
He could use something.
Over, or does he just have an eye patch moved up on his forehead? Is that what?
The eye patch is here. The comb over is up at the top. Sorry, you know what? We support him, but you know what? Got to pokes from either side. And he's a Republican, though, isn't he?
Yes.
Yeah, so the Democrats can use this if they want. Go ahead. And there is a little plaque here that says disclosure. Is this disclosure of UFOs or disclosure of his bad comb over?
Yeah, that's a good point.
I'm sorry, Mike. We love you, but you're fair game. Like everybody is. All right, so we got those things taken care of. We've got Lester Nair addressed. We're going to get a full video. We'll get some stuff together on it because we missed a lot of what was going on out there, especially. Where the hell are my fucking bookmarks? Damn it. Bing. Okay. Let's get to it. No, we're not going to show that one yet. New. Paulina Luna, quote, I've talked directly to the president, and let her talk about it. We've got good old Ross Colehart here talking to Paulina Luna after the hearing, because apparently she said this during the hearing, Mike,
okay,
but we couldn't hear it.
No, we couldn't hear shit.
Her mic wasn't working.
Right.
See what they say.
Your priorities at the moment?
Right now, our number one thing is bringing our list of whistleblowers that are requesting immunity to divulge information, whether that's pertaining to specific programs, potentially and allegedly crash materials and or biologics. But either which way, my job as an investigator is to follow up on that and see if there's any there. And so we have talked to the White House. They are considering immunity and or protections for these people to divulge information.
Can we go into the details on that? I was really struck that you got it back from Stephen Miller that he's thinking about amnesty.
Oh, Stephen's great.
Yeah, so what's he talking about there? Is he offering a full broad amnesty, or is it amnesty on NDAs?
Well, no, it would be full-fledged if they can provide information. They want to talk to them first, obviously, make sure that they're credible and, run backgrounds, but he's talking about full-fledged amnesty.
And do you get the feeling from the White House they're serious on this? I mean, it's very easy to be skeptical.
No, I will tell you, I've worked with now multiple administrations, but specifically to this, I want to remind people that when I first got the task force, I think a lot of people thought I was being set up to fail, and this administration...
I did think that.
Yeah, I think a lot of people did, and now it's the hottest task force in Congress.
It is.
But, specifically to that, we have been able to deliver some pretty big wins, and they're all playing ball. A lot of people that were skeptics see it, and they're no longer skeptics.
Well, frankly, let's be brutally blunt about it. You're getting traction, you're getting media attention, you're getting public attention.
Sometimes not always the best, but yeah.
No, but it's good. I mean, the thing I'm really struck by is the public want answers.
Yeah, it's a massively popular bipartisan issue, not just here, but in the world.
Yeah. And are you finding that with your congressional representative colleagues? Are they jealous of you?
No, well, I don't know. You can read different articles, and I'm sure they make statements. But there's a lot of good camaraderie that we found that's bipartisan. And and we call it our unofficial caucus, the UAP task force, because it's under the task force of declassification of federal secrets. But the group has grown, and we have a lot more Dems that are involved now, and we have fun. And the nickname that we are given is the Space Trash Caucus. And so we say that because in one of our briefings, they're like, well, there's a difference between UAPs and space trash. And so as a joke, we kind of
Well, at least they're not calling you the tinfoil.
Well, they can't, because so many people believe in it now. And it's even more funny because you have like the more legacy, I think, older congressmen that are just like, hey, Luna, what you got? My brother-in-law was asking me. So that, a lot of people are curious.
I was going to say, this is the big thing. There's such a stigma associated with this
It's a
topic.
generational stigma.
It's interesting, though, because young people don't have that hang-up.
Correct. So I think Project Blue Book was probably not as effective.
No, absolutely. But what's been interesting is you're getting a definite feeling from the White House, from the administration, they are engaging on this topic seriously. That's what I most want to hear.
Yeah, I've talked directly to the president, and I've talked to Stephen Miller. We all have.
And what's he telling you?
Well, they're playing ball. I mean, we could not have gotten this done had they not given the okay to release this information.
And so when you say that, the big bear in the room, obviously, man, is are they going?
It's not a bear in the room. It's a fucking elephant, Ross. You don't have bears in Australia. Sorry.
Right.
When you say that, the big bear in the room, obviously, man, is are they going to address the issue of alleged crash retrievals?
Well, that's why we have to do the amnesty and bring those people in. If someone can point to a location program, then they will look. And I'm hearing 100%, and on the back end, they have tried to find the follow-up on leads, but haven't found anything yet.
Interesting conversation, Mike.
Yeah,
say the least.
I have a lot of issues with that conversation, to be honest with you.
Jump into it, my friend.
Well, she first started off by saying how she's an investigator. Investigator my ass. She has no subpoena powers, no budget, no investigative ability. And we found out that when the government was shut down recently and she was making almost $4,000 a week, she was on social media trolling with the trolls, going after Lou Elizondo. That doesn't sound to me like somebody who is genuinely interested in disclosure on this subject. And as far as her making points about the only way we're going to find out is if whistleblowers come forward with information as far as where to look. Okay, well, has she heard the name David Grush before? Because he testified under oath and said, I can give you the street address of where the bodies in the craft are. What happened with that? So she's talking out of her ass, as always, because we know already from other people in the Congress that work with her that everything that she says you got to take with a truckload of salt. So she's doing it again. It's just amazing that now that we are where we're at, she's still not being completely truthful about what's going on with this. It's frustrating.
Yeah. It is a frustrating situation. Like some people in the audience who are not even listening to just what they're talking about and complaining about the audio quality. I didn't think it was so bad, but
they're talking about the audio quality from the conference yesterday, or our audio quality?
Our audio quality. It's been going on for years, apparently. So
bullshit.
I was really nice. I said, hey, reach out to me at thomas@disclosuretonight.com, and I will listen. If this is a sound engineer, right, who's willing to help us increase the quality.
Really?
Yes, the audio yesterday, Kiwi DJ, was completely unbearable. It was fucking horrible.
But it wasn't us.
I had to do the entire show when things were going on because the levels were so far out of it. I was having to go ahead and adjust the levels all the time, depending on who was talking and how close or far they were from the fucking microphone. It was horrible.
But it wasn't us.
No, I was trying to take the shit we were delivered on a platter and get it there to make it at least sound better.
Right. But no matter what you did, their quality sucked and you couldn't fix that.
But maybe people are going against Kevin. Here's the thing. He may have legitimate points. It sounds like He's an audiophile, someone who listens to stuff and can hear things that are going wrong. If Michael would know that's going on, it's something my mom would do. She would walk into the room and she'd say, see those things up there, the spots on the ceilings, the crack in the wall. Have you ever thought about fixing that? And it drove people crazy. But when she walked in, she could not stop seeing it.
Right.
And she had to tell people because she was compelled to. A lot of people who have ADD, which I have, which I probably got from my mom at this point, you know, you deal with it. So he may be that way in audio, and if he's an expert, no, he's probably listening on like $500 or $1,000 headphones, and he can hear everything that's wrong. Now, one of the things that I do is I don't wear headphones,
right?
Which a lot of streamers do. I could, but I don't want to. Or I could wear earplugs or something else. Audio has a little bit of a delay, and that little bit of a delay just fucks with me. Just sorry.
Yeah, no, you're
Either
right.
way, I'm just kvetching at this point. Paulina Luna, at least, Mike, we've got President Trump who's literally going ahead, right?
Yeah.
And pushing forward with disclosure. And we're now going to get amnesty for a short list. We're going to get some whistleblowers. We're not talking about open door amnesty yet, which we need to get because those people that have the information out there that they can bring forward, right?
Yeah.
We need to give them a time window of 6 months to let them bring the information forward because not that we're getting one yet. Oh, fuck, it's not loaded. God damn it. I don't have my survey music I could kick up right now, Daryl. Hint, hint, wink, wink.
Yeah, I've got a survey ready to, well, it's not ready to go. It'll be ready to go in a second.
Yeah, I'll get it ready to go on this one because this is where it comes into it. You know, it comes down to it when we're trying to, move this forward. It's just sometimes it's an issue and where in the hell are we going to take it? But, they're giving us some information. It's moving forward. If they could take that, sorry, my mind, ADD for a second, jump to the shiny fish. Don't have enough Adderall going right now. But if we're looking at it we're looking at, the people who can bring the information forward. They may be government employees. They may be contracting employees. They may be employees in the Department of Energy or different areas. And so it's a whole bunch of people. And it's about giving them that umbrella that these people can go ahead and feel that they can come forward with, but giving them that time frame to say, we're only going to give you this much time and we're going to count it. And when it goes down and you don't come and reach out to us and tell us what's going on, you are now liable for the crimes that you may be committing based on your current job and things that are going on because, well, it is what it is. So it gives people, Daryl, I mean, from an HR perspective, it gives people who are in a job and gives them a decent reporting perspective to go ahead and say, yeah, I'm involved with this shit. I don't want to get persecuted for it because I think it could be wrong. Here's what's going on. I want immunity. And that's the best way to handle it, right? It's like keeping your, irrespective of you get a paycheck from these people, everything else. But if you're involved with something bad, it's a protection.
Right. Well, the poll that I've got, Thomas, is a general question. Did the DC Disclosure Forum move us closer to real UAP transparency?
Oh, we haven't even gotten there
or
yet.
no?
Okay. We haven't even gotten there because there's a bunch of stuff from the forum. But based on what we've seen so far, let's do it twice. Let's do it at the start of the show. Let's do it at the end of the show. For those who have been around and watched the show yesterday, we had like 6,500, 7,000 people watch the show. Let's go ahead and get this up there. Where in the hell is that at? Oh, God, I can't play the sound effect. All right. I'll do it anyway. I'll hype myself. If there's a little short hiccup, we'll see, and I'll restart OBS, which is OBS is now freaking out. Now, it seems to be okay. I'm seeing stuff live in YouTube, and it seems to be working. We got the pulsing logo music going, friends, and that means we've got a survey happening. Let's bring it up and see what it says. All right. Did the DC Disclosure Forum move us closer to UAP reality? And that's what we're kind of going for. Oh, God. It says I'm down. Hold on. I need to hold on. Force quit. All right, right, we're back. Sorry about that. Kaboom, kabam. I said things were going to go wrong if I loaded the sound effects, but we have to have it going. So where is our audience taking us right now? Okay, Google, give me a timer for 1 minute and 30 seconds, please.
Sure. 1 minute, 30 seconds.
While
Starting.
Bingo. Oh, God. Let's see if this is actually comes back. Now it's showing we're back, finally.
Yeah. You're not back in the back chat, but you're back on YouTube for sure.
All right, hold on. That's easy to do. Start virtual camera. Can you see me
There
now
you
in the
go.
back?
It's
all right. I
perfect.
had to load the sound effects. You can't run without the sound effects. I'm sorry, folks. I should have just load the sound effects with the application. Restarted it. I should have done that. Yeah, Scooby-Boo. Yeah, all right. So where are we at? With 48 seconds left to go, Daryl, right now, did the disclosure forum move us closer to UAP transparency? And that's a really good question because, honestly, the answer on that is probably, even though we're going to watch a bunch of videos on this today, I don't think it moved the needle at all with regards to the potential executive branch. Now, we are getting the UAPDA was introduced in the House and the Senate today from both sides, and there's a movement to go towards it. But the question is that going to be enough? I don't know.
Well, if you get whistleblower protection, I think that's a big deal.
We'll get more things to come out, and if that information come out, it can go ahead and potentially move that forward. All right, audience, that means 100 votes in, 59. Daryl, good question. Because with 99 votes in, 59% of our audience said it did not move us forward.
Well, it'll be interesting to see by the time you're done with this segment, just to see if it changes.
All right. So Paulina Luna coming out of that, the first thing we got was we're moving forward. So, all right. So this is Representative Eric Burleson talking about Lincoln Labs. We saw this one yesterday. Let's go ahead and get Elizabeth Ferguson here. I like her in a red top better. All right. So let's get to that and let's play it for the audience. And here we go.
Today came from Missouri Republican Congressman Eric Burleson. He says MIT Lincoln Labs has agreed to hand over an Air Force video from 74 years ago about a UFO briefing.
They have acknowledged that it exists and that they're in the process of getting it to us. But what my understanding is that it's of, and I forget the general's name. He's an Air Force general who is briefing MIT scientists about, I believe it's the event that happened in Washington, D.C. in 1952. So that would be important historical information to have.
Congressman Burleson is referring.
All right, on that particular one, does it continue on?
Referring to a famous series of UFO incidents in 1950, vision of Washington. In the UFO community, it's right up there with Roswell and the Phoenix Lights. Now, if these revelations today are true, the next several weeks could be groundbreaking, though many of us are still waiting for definitive proof of life beyond Earth.
But let's get back to this. It could be another survey, is the audio recording from 1952 coming from the Air Force talking to scientists about what took place over Washington, D.C. at that time that's been covered up since that date. Is that enough not to move the needle completely? But, Daryl, would it move the needle? Is that a question for our audience? Or do we want to stack it up?
Well, we just did it. Well, let's stack it up.
All right.
Fred, what are you eating, Fred? Come here.
All right, let's move it on to there. All right, let's get past the religious news. What's going on? All right, this is just technology stuff. If you bought any videos from Sony on your PlayStation network, you're fucked. Download them. Find something to replay it and capture as you're going through it, because PlayStation is deleting over 500, it's actually 520 purchased movies from customers' accounts, yes. Includes things like, who would ever buy Terminator 2 or Rambo or Apocalypse Now or Hot Fuzz and Moonlight? That sounds like a bunch of boomers, Daryl.
Well, yeah. So certainly they're going to refund the money, right?
No.
What?
No. It's in your.
That sounds like Sony. That sounds like something that Sony would do to gamers.
It's in the terms and conditions. If you read through those pages of all the little text when you say I accept the terms and conditions,
I'll be right back.
Yeah. I don't ask the lawyers, not us. Because it's your if it's your video, it won't be saying I'll be back after September 1st, my friends. That sucks. It really sucks. All right, so another thing from Disclosure, what was going on. We saw Lou there the other day, 2026 UAP Disclosure form, reframe the issue as a serious test of democracy, science, neutrality, national security, public trust, and institutional readiness. Now, the key takeaway he's saying here is we need better data, which Gary Nolan's been saying for a while. I agree. Stronger whistleblower protections, yes. Less stigma, absolutely. And a lawful path to transparency. Couldn't sound better to me. So, yeah, Lou, we appreciate you being there, getting your reward for what's going on. Because, Mike, we've talked about this today, even for that matter. We wouldn't be here today for this disclosure movement if it wasn't for this one man.
Right. Lou is the one who, as we heard at the conference yesterday, which wasn't talked about publicly before, somebody asked Christopher Mellon, how did he get involved in this? And for the first time, he publicly said that Lou explained to him about the videos, which he knew nothing about. And they both discussed that the public and Congress have a right to know, and they have to come up with a way to get this out. So Lou recruited Christopher Mellon to get involved with moving disclosure out publicly, which he did. And that's not something that was publicly discussed about Chris and Lou before now.
Really quick, people are saying Lou doesn't look good. He actually does. I hate to say it, the scars on the right side of his face got rid of all his fucking wrinkles. He should consider doing something to the other side of his forehead. He looks a lot younger, you know. But you remember how bad he looked like months ago? He was on death's fucking door. He looked like a fucking pork chop that was drugged behind a Magnum SRT8, or let's go with a Charger SRT8 or Super B, whatever it is, and just dragged on the fucking concrete for so many miles.
Right. But he's doing much better now. Yeah. He's recovering and bouncing back. You saw him in person the other day.
I know. You know, I saw people said, I saw Lou. He's a lot shorter than I thought. What people said. Okay, I'm 6'4", right?
Right.
And Lou is shorter than me, of course. But when I met with Lou, it didn't feel like I was dealing with a midget. It didn't feel like I was dealing with someone who's 4'11" or 5'2". Like I've met a bunch of people along those lines. Very nice people, I have to say, actually, on both sides of the fence.
How tall is he?
5'8".
You don't call him out. You don't want to call him out. I get it.
No, 5'8".
Oh, okay. He's not that short.
Luke was 5'10", and he was a little about Luke's size, maybe a little.
It took me like a couple of years to figure out that you were 6'4". I'm only 6'1". You're taller than me, dude. How much basketball did you play back in the day?
Not much. I was a klutz. I had issues with connective tissue disorder. So my stuff expand or I stretched stuff too much, I did stuff too much. Even when I was really careful, I would rip shit apart.
Yeah, I know. I rip some. I get it.
And I'm also ADHD. I'm on ADD, so I'm a bit clumsy and I can't focus on things unless I'm on Adderall. And trust me, when I tried basketball, I was not on Adderall, which probably would have been a good thing. So, Lou Elizondo, not that short of a guy. Just want to put that out there because everyone, Mike, it's like people calling you fat and huge, and you're not. Them calling him a midget and shit. He's not a midget. He's just like 5'8", and that's a normal height. There are shorter people and there are higher people. You know what sucks of being 6'4"? Try and buy a fucking car. Try and buy clothes that deals with your overall height. Try and find shoes that don't look like a deformed fucking clown shoe that you have to put on your feet. You know, when they're small, it looks great. When they get huge, it looks like a fucking boat.
Try and be 6'1" on an aircraft carrier, right? That's why I joined the fucking Army afterwards, because I got tired of hitting my head.
Yeah. Edwin. No, Ryan, you're back as Ryan. You actually fixed
Yeah,
it.
you did fix it. Go ahead, Ryan.
Yeah, I think Lou looks very presidential.
Yeah,
Just
he's getting a
saying.
little older. Well, so am I. We all are.
Well, he looks like he would be a good president of the United States.
You
Just
know,
saying.
he was going to run for the Senate one time in Wyoming. He'd do good in the Senate.
I don't know.
Screw
if he
the
ran
idiots in the House.
A lot of people are interested in disclosure. Come on, Lou. Just
Sorry, audience.
get in the White House, Lou, please.
Well, let's hope he's getting the position in the White House to try and organize and make disclosure more of an organized effort that's going on versus a willy-nilly here and there. Let's have Paulina Luna leak saying, oh, when she said last Saturday, oh, we've got something coming out in the coming week.
Right.
Just say when it's going to happen.
Yeah, she doesn't seem
shit.
to be able to do that. Yeah, you're right. Her information is not accurate, to say the least.
That was one of the things we talked about. Okay, so let's get out of there last night. All right. All right. So this came from UAP News Center. Much better than the UAP Reporting Center. UAP News Center is the place to go. He doesn't take schmucks and promote them when they shouldn't be giving a pulpit. But
right.
when you're trying to build a channel and get clicks and views, you'll sell your soul. So plenty of interesting UAP news today. Now, versions of the UAP Disclosure Act were filed in both chambers of Congress today. I need to go to the bottom of my tweets of my bookmarks first and scroll the other way because I've got a bunch of stuff on this. Ask-a-poll UAPs catches Senator Rounds promising to smoke out the resistors to the UAPDA. Takeaways from the disclosure forum yesterday. So, all right, that means I need to go to ask poll UAPs. Smoking out the opposition's the rounds. Okay, so we've got the video here. We are a proud sponsor of Ask a Poll, aren't we, Mike?
Yes, we are. For years now.
Oh, yeah. Yearly subscription, why not? He deserves it. It's a shame that he lost his credentials for his interns, though.
Yeah, but he got his credential back, and he's back in the Capitol building interviewing Congress.
Well, it's better to have the king than nobody, right?
That's right.
All right, we've got audio. Let's go ahead and play it. Let's hear what Senator Rounds has to say, Are
we going to see the UAP Disclosure Act, your bill with Schumer this year?
Well, we're going to introduce it, put it as an amendment on the NDAA. Hopefully the Senate will agree with us.
Hold on. The audience can hear stuff. I can't hear shit. If I want to talk about it, I've got to hear it too. Can you guys hear it and find in the back?
Yeah, we hear it.
All right, good. Here we go.
To do so. And if that's the case, then the next step is going with the House and seeing if they agree to some format of it. I presume they'll have concerns like they did last time.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll be able to allay some of those concerns or work through those concerns.
So you're convinced the concerns are with the House. I still haven't been able to find who the voice of opposition is. Does your
But this is one way to find out is just to offer it again and then find out who would object to it. And it'll be interesting to see whether or not the House has any provisions along the same line as our proposal.
Yeah.
And if there is, then we have a stronger case for putting it in the final version.
Now, has your office heard from more whistleblowers? Or has Intel heard from any more whistleblowers? Since we've had disclosure from the Pentagon?
Not really whistleblowers. We've simply, when we have people that have direct firsthand knowledge, a personal experience, and who have a professional background with either a contractor or the federal government, then I'll take the time to sit down and visit with them to learn as much as I can.
Are those voices more important now that we're getting this release from the Pentagon, or?
The voices have been there and they've talked to us, but we don't really talk about who they are because we want them to be able to trust us that we're not going to disclose who they are. Most of them still work for either contractors or for the federal government and have for years. And we'll do our best to protect them. So I really don't want to get much further into it.
Do you think your Disclosure Act would help them? Government employees, contractors?
Yeah, because I think the information that they have or that is in the possession of the government would become a permanent official record outside of an existing agency or branch.
Have you guys still been looking? Like, have you found where these SAPs are that are supposedly hidden from Congress? Special access programs?
It's not so much that it's hidden, it's simply a matter of the silos do exist. And you may have folks who are members of the armed services who might not know what the IC, the intelligence community, is actually doing.
Yeah.
And so, or you may have items that the armed services are doing that the intel community may not be aware of. And so these silos are part of the challenge, because if something is observed and they're a professional and they don't know what it is, they'll talk about the fact in privacy or in a secured environment about something that's been observed that they might not be aware of. They also recognize that it may be something that they're simply not privy to.
Yeah.
And so they're very careful about talking about it publicly.
Because right now we've been seeing the Pentagon release stuff, but nothing from Department of Energy or other spots. Do you think?
Bingo.
I can't tell you why.
Yeah.
Just, that is the executive branch, and we're getting more than we ever did before.
Yeah.
So, step in the right direction, and maybe as they gain more confidence that the American public really want to see it, maybe we'll see more of it in the future.
Mike, this is...
Yeah, Thomas. Yeah,
this is Matt's best work to date, honestly.
We can hear what he's saying. He's on point. And I
he
think
had
him getting
questions to go versus what do you think about this or what do you think about that? And they talk. He tries to get something in, he gets shut down. This was like, he was 3 minutes and 23 minutes of kicking ass, and it's nice to see him operating at this level.
Oh, it is. He does good work, and it's nice to see him working at this level. I agree.
Yeah. Well,
let's see what else Rounds has to say.
This is positive. I'd say it's positive, honestly.
I like the fact that Rounds is now talking about, as far as whistleblowers, contractors.
Right.
Not just the military, just not people working in government. No, actual civilian contractors that are, their hands are tied and their mouths are shut from NDAs and national security clearances. This is a good thing. You're right.
He also did bring up about DOE.
Yes, he did.
Rounds really at that point in time just kind of backed away from. But that shows Matt has been listening to what's going on.
Listening to us, at least, because we've been saying that repeatedly for years now. And they're repeating all the points that we make each and every time. So somebody's listening. Somebody hears it and tells them, if they're not listening to it themselves. Because this is exactly what we talk about. We jump up and down about DOE, and I don't hear anybody else, when they talk about disclosure, make the same points that you and I have always made. They don't. They leave some things out. Yeah. We, of course, repeat the same points over and over. And now we're hearing Rounds repeat those same points.
So whoever helped write Matt and help him rehearse for those questions that he asked, unless it was Matt by himself or somebody else, right?
Right.
And the person who helped him edit this video down, that team that he's got, it's good. It relies on him to be there and get the stuff there, but now he's got the people supporting him versus getting more feet on the ground. Now he's taking where the feet he's got on the ground, right?
Right.
Is actually giving him the advantage because he has all this experience. Good for Matt.
Yeah,
really.
It's about time.
Fuck yeah.
Good work. Yeah.
It shows there's something behind the red lipstick.
Oh, yeah.
Gotta ask what shade he used today.
Well, we know
Nothing wrong with that. You know, we're in Pride Month. It's Luke's and I anniversary tomorrow on the 28th, and it's Pride here in Seattle. How about that?
Well, we also know that Luna doesn't like him at all.
It seems she's kind of relaxed a bit to it, but of course, because she's like Republican Christian superwoman, right?
Right. So she doesn't like the fact that Laszlo is liberal and on the left, and the opposite of what her
and
political
likes to wear
party
lipstick and other stuff and whatever he's involved in and different.
Right.
But yeah, he's had a bunch of things that have turned things off. But either way, let's move on to our next piece now. Coming in, we have Christopher Mellon. The facts are undeniable. Our government does not understand the origin, intent, or intention of UFOs. What? You fucking kidding me? That the government does not understand the origin. They don't have a clue at all as to what the, do not understand means they don't get shit.
Right.
And we're supposed to believe that they don't know what shit or what the intention is. Well, you know what? If you look at 80 fucking years of data of what they've been doing all of this time, how we observed them, what's been going on, what we've been seeing, and you can't figure out intent. I mean, what are we dealing with? Some first graders going ahead and fucking, arguing over the milk and cheese sandwiches.
Exactly.
That's about the level of intellect we've got, saying if we can't figure anything out.
Yeah. Like it's amateur hour with the government. I don't think that's true.
A bunch of toddlers fighting over who gets access to the toy.
Right.
I want the dog. No, you can't have the dog. No, I want the dog. No, the other one wants the dog. No, I'm going to take the dog and I'm going to shove it in the PlayStation and you'll never get it because it's going to kill the PlayStation and the dog. It's kids.
Right. It is. But Andy has his hand up. Go ahead, Nate.
Yeah, I'm going to slightly not disagree with you both on that, but I'm wondering, could this be the reason why they haven't disclosed? Because they don't know, and they're actually more frightened of saying that they, don't know.
But they don't know, Andy, would mean that they haven't looked at the data and the statistics of it, because if you look at the data and the observations over time, if they can't figure it out, take that data, pump it into AI, and it will find the patterns and help them understand what's going on. So it's just kind of like people are saying, we don't understand, we don't know. It's like, how the fuck do you not know?
Well, Thomas,
or do you have any clue?
Listen, they didn't Dr. James Lakatsky come out and said that he got inside of a craft? So how does the government not know if they're actually in possession of crafts and getting inside of them? They know something.
Right.
I agree. You're absolutely right.
I mean, this would be a good one. Do we trust government?
Oh, fuck no.
There we go. Let's just do it. Start a quick poll.
Are you doing it, Thomas?
Do you want me to do it? Or I can do it.
I'll do it.
Trust
Oh.
government. Yes or no? That's it.
This will be an easy one.
We did it. Let's bring it in. Sorry, Daryl.
No, I don't care.
I should have delegated, but it was just like I've done this so many times. Like, okay, let's get into it. I should have said, I have to figure out how I can bring it up for you if you're writing it, because that's part of it. I trust government people. They're going to find out the information to say, we don't know what's going on. Daryl, do you believe they don't have any clue of this? Or do you think they have? If you look at the data, there is some intent they can see.
Right.
Yeah.
Plus they have access to information that we don't, and they've had it for decades now. How in the hell can they be completely in the dark? It's bullshit.
Yeah.
Bullshit artist.
Set a timer for 1 minute.
I mean, I believe some parts of the government can be in the dark about it, so maybe not all of the parts of the government know, but the people that should know.
Right.
The CIA knows. The Air Force knows. And,
But it's concerning to have someone like Christopher Mellon, who's there and a part of this, and they're saying he doesn't know what the hell's going on. And he should know.
What did David Grush say at the press conference recently at Capitol Hill? He said there's about 200 people in the government that know full well what's going on.
Yeah, and the guy yesterday in the forum, I don't remember, there was a guy I'd never heard of before. He was sitting on the end of one of the tables. I think he had lighter hair and glasses.
Kirk McConnell, yeah.
Yeah.
And he said, that somebody asked him the question, do you think the government understands what these are? And he said, if the government doesn't understand something, they're going to study it till they figure out what it is. It's a threat until it isn't.
Right. He's right.
With 75 votes in, I'm going to say, let's bring it to a close. And what was the audience said? Well, I trust the government. 8% saying yes, 92% saying no. On that note, we've talked about Christopher Mellon, where he is on this, and why I'm just like, are you seriously saying this, Christopher? Because it almost feels like he's been bought out, Mike. He's gotten old and soft. Unless this is where he's always been.
Well, it's interesting that he revealed that it was Lou that got him interested in this topic, because before that, he knew nothing about it.
Right.
He also went so far as to say, with the access that he had in his role in the government, which was over SAPs, he said that all of the SAPs that he had direct access to, they all were of prosaic information. Prosaic. Nothing exotic. Nothing. He says most of the time the government is focusing on real world issues.
Mike, you know what? And this just makes me more concerned, because the stuff we've been talking about, I'll get more clear about the Sultanate of Oman.
Yeah.
That stuff that was going on. Supposedly that whole thing was supposedly going to be handed off to Christopher.
Well, that never happened.
Well, we don't know if it happened or not, but if that did, what we're seeing now is just, it seems like he's there to help, but
he has limited access and knowledge, it seems like.
His intent seems skewed more, and I don't understand it. It's something we're going to have to figure out. On that note, let's get into this video clip coming up of, how did the fuck get back to her here?
Thomas, can I just ask you something? Oh, no,
yes.
On the post you just have there, the UAP reporting center they're at on X is unfortunate.
Yeah, I'm not going to talk about them for an absolute reason.
No, I mean they're. Where
the hell did I just find this? We're going to find this stuff on Christopher Mellon. It should be right up. Not that one, not there. And I had the one with Christopher Mellon. Not that Vanguard. We had that one. We played that one. We got that one. I got everything. Oh, here he goes. No, not that one. We got that one. We got to play. All right, here's the Christopher Mellon.
By something you...
Sorry, yeah, we got a lot of stuff to get through today, so I'm going to stop talking so much. We'll start watching videos and get to it. Here we go, folks.
Said in your opening remarks today that the facts are undeniable that something gravely serious is occurring in our airspace, and in many cases, our government does not understand the origin, capability, or intentions of these intruders. Wow.
That's absolutely true, and I'm sorry to say that these kinds of incursions have been happening at bases all over the United States and overseas, and it isn't as widely known as it ought to be. But what's happening to Russia today at the hands of the Ukraine with drones could happen just as easily here tomorrow, I'm afraid.
But you're saying they're not drones, they're something else?
We don't know. That's part of the problem. It's a mystery. So in some cases, it probably is drones. In other cases, it seems to be something more advanced. And this has been going on for many, many years, for decades back to World War II, but not as aggressively, not as much in our face as we've been experiencing lately.
You say our government is, for the most part, I think you quoted Senator Roger Wicker, that the Pentagon is mystified as to what these things are, but at least a handful of people inside the government must know something about what's going on, because today Congressman Luna announced she's working with the White House to provide immunity for UFO whistleblowers, people who claim to know about alien spacecraft and even alien remains that our government has. If the government really has these things, how has it remained secret for so long?
Well, we're talking about a couple of possibly different things. So one of the difficulties is when we see these lighted objects moving over an airfield, are they Chinese drones or are they something much more exotic? And in many cases, it's hard to tell. So it's not clear that the whistleblowers have any indication or knowledge of these particular events. They do, some of them have information, it seems, that suggests that our government has a great deal more than it has revealed to date.
You say there are hundreds and hundreds of new sightings by our military every year, and that many of these UAPs are over sensitive bases and over Navy ships while they're at sea. You say UAPs violated airspace over Langley Air Force Base every night for 2 weeks, and that the Air Force eventually moved an entire squadron of F-22s out because it was, quote, mystified about what those objects were or what they were doing.
That's correct. And that is a fairly staggering fact. And the Air Force, to this date, and the administration do not seem to know where those objects came from, despite the fact that it went on for 17 days.
Every night for 17 days.
Special aircraft and 17 days. And
how about they shut down Langley and all the air operations that were going on? Remember this, Mike? They had to be moved down to
Virginia Beach, Oceana Naval Air Station.
Bingo, 100%.
Mm-hmm. We covered that.
Yeah.
17 days. That
17
sounds like
days. It wasn't just that stopped it. They had to move their aircraft and everything from Langley, which is a mostly CIA. What people don't realize, Mike, Langley is more so a CIA
intelligence.
Airport.
Right. So it seems like it was an invasion, and we couldn't do anything to stop it.
But they were also tracked there, not just because it was one of our bases, because it's Langley and it's attached to the CIA and all the shit that they've been doing. Apparently, they must have had something there at Langley, right?
Something was going on.
And it was interesting, the Chinese and the non-human intelligence. Woof.
Yeah. Well, we know that the drone flap in New Jersey had Chinese involvement in it. That's already a given, even though, the incoming president at the time stated that these were objects that were authorized by the FAA and no cause for alarm, folks. Nothing to see here. Move along.
Yeah.
That was bullshit. So that's what we got from that. But yeah, this is pretty serious as far as we have no control over our restricted airspace, which is what Chris Mellon's talking about right now.
Yeah. Unfortunately so. So it's just kind of where we're at. I'd be glad you could go ahead and talk on that, Mike. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
These kinds of intrusions are actually disrupting military operations. So if the Air Combat Command at Langley can't control its own airspace, then you wonder how effectively could they protect Washington and other cities. It's really hard to believe that we weren't able to track these things down, but that is in fact the case.
And it's not just Langley. It also happened over Barksdale Air Force Base in Louisiana and over sensitive test ranges. Whatever these objects are they? Do they appear to be probing our defense capabilities?
In some cases, they do. In some cases, they seem very deliberately to be trying to provoke us. That's happened with some of our Navy ships at sea, for example, where occasionally they've gone right up to the bridge of the ship and shown a light in, like just in case you didn't know that we were flying around your ship. Here we are right in your face, and you can't do anything.
Is he? I think he's talking about the USS Russell incident, Mike.
Yes.
Where they
That's
had
the one he's
those
talking about.
pyramid-shaped craft that were coming and flying around the whole thing, and they're dealing with it, and they didn't know where the hell they came from. But of course, they're in the Channel Islands, which is right off the coast from Los Angeles, south of Santa Monica. Not actually west of Santa Monica, south of the whole, Pacific Coast Highway and everything that was up there. It's just, it's a shame.
Yeah, those Snoopy teams on board the Russell were powerless to do anything about it.
Those Ghostbusters backpacks where it was like this big, huge gear, and they were using it to shoot like microwave energy at craft, and there was absolutely no effect from that technology.
None. And these craft were shining lights right into the bridge. So they weren't hiding, obviously.
No, never. Why would they? Like all the Tic Tacs that were coming down, right?
Oh, they weren't hiding then either.
They were coming down. There was over 100 that came down over a week. And solar days from 5 to 10, they'd all pop down, go from 80,000 feet down to 50 feet, and they'd go ahead in near their area. And they were always going under the ocean and vanishing around Isla Guadalupe, which is also really close to Isle de Cedros. If you look at the stuff that's under the ocean at that point, you say, what the fuck is going on? But do you think they would go down exactly where their base is under the water, or are they going to go under the water and then travel a little bit to get to the actual location, right?
Right. That makes sense.
Yeah. All right, let's get back to Christopher Mellon. Here we go.
Think about it. There's some extraordinary things about this pattern, because this has been going on, night after night with scores and scores of these objects, and unlike what we see with typical drones, none of these things have malfunctioned, none have fallen out of the sky, none of them have been vulnerable to our anti-drone technology. So it's a very capable system, whatever it is and whoever is flying it, and they've demonstrated the ability at will to operate directly over our most sensitive facilities.
Given what they can do, given the fact that not a single one has crashed or malfunctioned in any way, given the way they're moving, you have said, and others have said, they are moving in ways that no human-made machine can move. That would imply that they're not of this world.
Well, that is true in some cases. In the case of Langley, they generally were not flying in wildly erratic patterns. They were mostly moving straight across the airfield, and then they would veer away and disappear and head back out to sea, it seemed. So those cases could have been drones. There are other cases, however, where absolutely we see these incredible kinds of performance that surpass anything that we have on the books, even on the drawing board. For example, in some cases, the drones have gone inside a larger craft, and that larger craft has instantaneously accelerated directly away from the target area at extreme velocities, the kind of speeds that are not attainable with drones. So it's a mixed picture, but in any case, we're unable to control our airspace, as these examples demonstrate, and that's very worrisome.
You said today in your remarks that the implications are enormous. There's been concern in the past that any sort of confirmation or information about extraterrestrial life could spark panic, roil financial markets, impact even religion. Are those concerns valid?
They're valid concerns, but thankfully the data that we collected at the Disclosure Institute from a group of psychologists who did a study of this topic, and from some polling data we've taken, show that most Americans can handle this kind of information. It seems like a subset that might need some assistance and some counseling. Most Americans, 90%, already seem to believe that want more disclosure, want to know more, and a majority seem to believe the government is holding back information, and they seem to be able to handle it. So the good news is it doesn't look like we'd have a sort of meltdown, assuming that things continue more or less as they are, and it's not like in an invasion scenario or something radical like that. But if it's a matter of just becoming aware that we're not alone in the universe, that fact by itself doesn't seem to be a prelude necessarily to any kind of mass disruption.
Or hostile act. Because if they wanted to
times,
invade
Mike.
us, if they wanted to invade us, Thomas, it would have happened a long time ago.
Oh, of course. Mike, it's like, are you going to invade the farm, or are you going to enlist the pigs to help you control everything else that's going on?
The latter. Right.
Right. Well,
that's exactly right.
Now, Mike,
so, yeah.
we don't like to talk about Stephen Greer stuff.
No. DC Muscle Wolf is usually off the table.
Especially, you know, there was a thing that happened with Bijou about a year and a half ago. We love playing this video. Sorry, folks, they're going to see it again to give you an intro. You recognize the voice. That could be Steve Talk in the background. You never know, but you got to have fun with it. It is a parody, but...
This is NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt.
Good evening and welcome. What you're about to hear may disturb you. Beloved alien celebrity Bijou, the extraterrestrial, was found dead on the outskirts of Wyoming. Reports from eyewitnesses who had spotted two men making a hasty escape from the lifeless Bijou. Currently, the Space Force is conducting an investigation, and a pivotal piece of evidence has emerged, potentially indicating that this could be a case of homicide. We've obtained a leaked audio recording from a nearby trail camera.
You think you know pain? Remember what you did to me?
Thank you for watching. I'm Lester Holt. Please take care of yourself and each other. Good night.
Oh, I'm sorry. We got to take care of each other, Mike. Now coming to this, just to remind people about poor Bijou. We lost a year and a half ago today. Dr. Stephen Greer, in a recent post as soon as yesterday, actually today, no, it must have been yesterday. Well, it's today at June 25th. We are appalled at the xenophobia and threat mongering portrayed at the UAP Disclosure Forum today. Xenophobia?
I didn't hear that.
I didn't, but it's actually a story. Where did that go? Here's the post. Let me bring it over here. Bring to this one, get to it. All right, and the story coming to us from our friends at Overclassified X over Twitter. Greer is appalled. Now, this could be true. Maybe a story, but let's have fun with it, right, Mike? It's Friday Night Disclosure, my friends. If we haven't said national security enough tonight, Daryl, I think we may have to change the word to whistleblower. The whistleblowers.
A lot of national security. We have a lot of national security and national security bank from yesterday's.
Oh my
yesterday's
God,
forum.
yeah. And I couldn't take one sip yesterday. Neither could you. So we're enjoying it either way. Let's get into it. So Greer's appalled by real talk on NHI threats while protecting his peaceful narrative? No. Yes, on June 25th, yesterday, Kennedy Caucus Room in Capitol Hill, we covered it live. The UAP Disclosure Forum in 2026 was the first major transparency summit with lawmakers and representatives Luna, Burles, and Burchett. No, Burchett wasn't there. What are you talking about? And Intel, people like Christopher Mellon ran a dedicated security and defense panel on documented military base incursions like Langley swarms lasting 17 days, radar jamming, personal health effects like, Havana syndrome, and risks of Russia or China grabbing non-human technology first. Now, speakers first framed it as prepare whatever comes next, your standard national security reality. The same day, Dr. Stephen Greer posts, we are appalled by the xenophobia and threat mongering portrayed at the UAP Disclosure Forum today. You know, these incursions, the jamming and health effects are on the congressional record and Mellon's public statements. So Greer has long claimed that 80 to 90% of the UAP are human black budget craft hiding 0-point energy. Okay. He sells a premium CE5 ambassador to the universe trainings and has previously warned of staged alien threats and false flags. Don't forget about the $5,000, $8,000, $10,000, $20,000 fee. You can go and hang out with him at his sponsored bed and breakfast.
And you get a spaghetti dinner for that.
Yeah, maybe some garlic bread too.
Well, I think that's extra.
Oh, shit.
So,
by the way, who's we? Who's we he's talking about? Does he have a DC muscle mouse in his pocket?
I don't know. The forum also flagged missing dead scientist. Tied to the topic is Greer's meltdown damage control. Well, his sanitize all peaceful contact via meditation. narrative and, called CE5 and the high ticket ecosystem around it. Mike, you know what? Even if you did pay $20,000 for that spaghetti dinner and staying at the
Greer compound
at the compound, the B&B where Greer also hangs out, it does include hot tub time. It does, but it doesn't. It specifically does not include CE5.
Yeah, I know, but I'm sure
and they call Lou a grifter.
Right.
I think he's a little pissed that he wasn't invited to the forum.
Yeah, it could be sour grapes.
Well,
you also have to bring your own baby oil. I understand.
But he's been talking like he's going to get the position in the White House. He's talked with Don Jr., people in the White House, and all this stuff. But he's going to, and that's too young of a picture. I'm sorry, he doesn't look that good anymore. That's like 20 years
Nowhere
ago.
near it. Yeah, easily.
A sweaty nerd. You had your hand up.
He did.
Maybe he backed out. All right,
Thomas. We do have a poll, and not that we work together on this at all in the background.
No. Is there a poll on Stephen Greer we could throw towards our audience on
yes,
all
absolutely.
of these amazing claims?
Absolutely.
I'd love to see what our
start it
audience
right
thinks
now.
about this.
There we go.
Let's go for it. Let's start that sound effect without crashing the stream this time. There you go. Bring it up. Greer calls DC Forum xenophobic threat. What is your view, audience? You got three choice. Valid concern for peace. Next to him. There we go. Stephen, put you a little bit further off to the side. Bring this up here. Bring this there. We get Stephen there. Let's get our survey over here. All right. And squeeze it a little. There we go. Greer calls DC Forum xenophobic threat mongering. Okay, Google, give me a timer for 1 minute.
Got it. 1 minute. Starting.
Is it a valid concern for peace? 9%. Protecting his peaceful narrative that all these things are loving and friendly and they're here to help us? 19%. Or is it damage control for his CE5 grift that he does make a lot of money on? And actually, he actually does have a bunch of companies that work with a bunch of companies. I've kind of heard this before. If Kyle Ryan, if you were around, he did a lot of research on this, didn't he, Mike?
He did. We've looked into it as well. There's a lot of shell companies around his various family members that seem to be involved with the grifting.
Him and his wife, right?
Yes.
It's a way to separate things but keep them together.
Right.
All right. We got 5 seconds left. Let's see where it's going to go. There's no help in changing the results on this one. 62 votes in. Let's go ahead and get that and take a screenshot for posterity. Yes, I actually do take... Shut up. I do take screenshots of everything we go through. So, yes, our audience... Yes, I will kill the sound effect, which a lot of people would say. Stephen Greer didn't get it. Actually, that's not it. God damn it. I don't trust the government. Where the hell? Oh, my God. Let's go to the pictures.
So most people don't trust the government and don't trust Stephen Greer. So does that,
Does
that mean Stephen Greer works for the government?
Calls DC Forum xenophobic threat. Is that it? No, that's not it.
Mm-hmm. That's it. That's it.
All right, there we go. Damage control for CE5 grift. Or just grift in general. Yep. But there are a lot of wealthy people out there. So if that's where they want to spend their money and they're happy with it and are willingly doing it, Daryl, what's the old saying? There's one born every minute.
Yeah, one sucker born every minute.
Oh, you said that. I didn't.
Well, okay.
All right, so where in the hell are we? We got through that. Yeah, there's a bunch of shit to get through. All right, we covered that. We covered him playing it. All right, so this is Harold Malgram's daughter.
Pippa.
Oh God, I'm not going to play the shit from D. Dean Johnson. He's an asshole. We know that, Mike. Sorry.
Yeah.
And then we've got cool technology. They've got people that are going through like a space on a camera, and it's building a complete 3D model. Here's what the camera is picking up, and as they're going through it all, it's creating a full 3D world of what they're going through. It's just taking low input, mapping it and everything. And Mike, guess where that's being created?
Where?
In China.
No shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
This is the competition, folks. We're not number one. In some ways we are. However, they've invested all the money we've put into wars, into tech, and people. So, all right, let's get rid of all bookmarks. We've got that one here. All right, so this one is coming in. This is a clip from the disclosure forum that happened yesterday. And this is Matthew Brown, son of Abraham. He's lost some weight, Mike. I think Daryl, he may be on Ozempic as well.
Maybe.
Everybody's on that shit.
Either that or, being part of disclosure and how the government screws you. You can't hold a job down. You're doing a lot of things and you're stressed out. That could be it as well. So let's play this clip from him from the Disclosure Foundation yesterday. Here we go.
Is the human factor. Disclosure is about us. It's not just the science. It's not just the wonder or the institution, organizations, conspiracies, and competition. It's very human. It's very personal. And at the center of that are the experiencers, the abductees, the people at the fringe of society who experience this whether they want to or not, and have for far too long been marginalized and silenced. And I think that is starting to change culturally, but it took a lot of work to get here, and while it's before my time, I can only imagine the sort of darkness and isolation others went through dealing with those sort of extraordinary experiences in a sometimes cruel and unbelieving world. So I just want to take a moment to thank one of those people, and there are many, but one person who, gave a voice and a platform, and more than that, counsel and comfort to experiencers and abductees, and he's here today, and that's Mr. Stryber. Thank you, Whitley.
Thank you. It has been a rather long journey. I can remember the beginning of it, staring into the face of a jeering host on a television set under the bright light saloon, and then going home in the night and coming face to face with the very thing that they were laughing about. But you're not laughing. And I'm so glad you are here. Keep up the good work. We will become a cosmic species.
Wow. They actually brought Whitley Strieber up. Who would have thought? Now, did the conversation from Matthew Brown, at the beginning of it, did that change? I would say this is the only person who actually spoke out and reached out to experiencers and people who've been about this shit and trying to say, yeah, it's just more than a craft. It's more than a non-human intelligence. They've been fucking with people on this planet, and it's a connection to there. And I don't think we ever heard this before.
Well, if you listen to Whitley Strieber or Strieber, however you actually say it.
I mean, heard it in a public forum to this extent.
Yeah. To what extent? Well, I mean, what did he say? He didn't really go into a lot of detail, right?
It's just who Whitley Strieber is, everything that he's been through and he's talked about in the whole thing. They're bringing him on stage and thanking him for the different stuff he's talked about to try and include that whole thing that Matthew was talking about before he brought him up.
And Strieber wrote Communion, right?
Yeah.
That's the same guy. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, he's A lot of people in ufology, including Gary Nolan, have recognized Whitley Strieber.
Right. So, patterns tell stories.
And his stories are fucking wild. I mean, wild.
Yeah. It is.
Yeah. Yeah.
The experiencers, the abductees, the people at the fringe of society who experience this, whether they want to
I don't have the clip. There was the old guy. Hold on. God damn it. Story here from News Nation. Are they going to make me? Oh, don't do that. Don't. No. Sorry. Hold on, everybody. Here we go. We're back. All right. Audio version of the article. Do they actually have a video story? All right. And they're going to show me ads, but they're not because I'm in Brave. Let's see if this works. Audio is there, turned on. Okay, so this is the guy from yesterday who was talking about religion and disclosure and everything. He sounded like a cool guy when he was talking about everything, but the audio we kind of lost and did not hear the full story about what he talked about. So let's, God, you know what he reminds me of, Daryl? Have you watched The Walking Dead?
I didn't, and I understand there's a character named Daryl in that.
Daryl, and yeah, exactly. But he looks like the father it was in it, who was a doctor. And if anyone watched the show and everything, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Let's play it. Here we go.
As far as religion is concerned, the impact will be unpredictable. Religion is unpredictable. Religion is all about disagreements. Social scientists began to argue in the early part of the 20th century that religion, especially symbols and rituals, were social glue, something that held secular culture together. But it's also true that religion can be social dynamite. Disagreements are the stuff of religion. So how can one predict what effect will this disclosure have? We don't know. I am reminded of a joke I heard a long time ago in reference to only one religion, but it applies to all religions. Someone is marooned on a deserted island for 30 years. At the end of the 30 years, the rescuers show up, and they're astonished to find 2 equally elaborate houses of worship on the island, while the castaway lives in a very crude hut. So they ask, what's going on? Why these 2 houses of worship? And he wheels around and points with utter disgust at one of them and says, you don't think I would set foot in that one, do you? So who knows what will happen? But most religions are all about belief in non-human intelligences. So religion could be argued, at least some believers, might actually lessen the shock of full disclosure.
Oh.
And then the audio started cutting out again.
Yeah, that's why they went and cut the clip at that point.
Someone that can better answer that question for you.
But hopefully we will get more than that. That's the whole
They
point.
got to fix that audio for next year. God damn.
3rd year in a row. I mean, remember when the game, what was it called? Flying Pigs or something like that? Came out on iOS? We're probably talking 2010, 2011, maybe 2012. And when it came out, it just wasn't the gameplay and it was fun. It was the sound effects. It was the whole environment thing that went along with it. And it was it wasn't Flying Pigs, it was Flying Birds or something. Angry Birds. That's what it was. And it just wasn't, it was really basic animation and stuff, but the sound design and everything brought you into it. When you're trying to listen to someone who's talking about stuff and the audio cuts out and you can no longer hear him, you lose interest. You walk away from it because the most important things that he was there to say, the fucking microphone turned off. And there were a lot of people who actually took time to watch this live. And that's what they got. So, I'm sorry, folks. I can apologize for somebody else, but it's just kind of like, all right. So we got the religion part done. Let's get past him. All right, Avi Loeb.
So
You can handle Avi Loeb. Do we submit the audience to Avi Loeb? No. Well, but we can hear about how good things really are. I've got a practice.
He's just one step away from the count.
3, 4, 5.
What will be your guiding principle rule?
What will be your guiding principle? I mean, they get that voice down a little bit
I was
deeper.
not
and bring
expecting
it
that
in.
voice.
What was that, Daryl?
I was not expecting that voice.
No.
Rules and morals. In this project.
Morals.
yeah, so my leadership style is all about honesty and sharing what I know with the constituents.
The pauses, the That's the deciding factor to get to Avi Loeb.
That I represent with the public and the scientific community. And this brings trust. And that's why I served for 3 terms of 3 years as chair of the astronomy department at Harvard, the longest serving chair. Everyone working with me could trust me. And so I hope to bring the same spirit to the deliberations of this new UAP Science Advisory Clarity to this subject. And the government and help it resolve the nature of UAPs and at the same time bring clarity to this subject that will be shared with the public. And this is great news. So that's my hope in terms of the outcome. And of course, reality could be far more inspiring than Disclosure Day that Steven Spielberg imagined. After all, he was imagining things just to, provide red meat to the audience. That's what artistic freedom allows you to do. But in my case, the task is to figure out reality. This is not something we imagine, but rather something.
But wait a minute. You didn't realize I cut out 4 minutes of his speech and jumped right towards the end. And he was talking. We're like, what the fuck kind of answer are we getting? Yeah, I'm sorry. But it's just Avi Loeb being Avi Loeb.
Yeah, I'm intrigued by the guy with the deep voice. I don't know why, but.
All right, we got Avi Loeb being Avi Loeb and the whole thing. Why in the fuck did they pick Avi? Why did he bring in Michael Shermer and everybody else? It's just, it points towards another Blue Book cover-up going on right in front of us again.
Well, I think the reason was, honestly, because they want to get more universities involved, and they figure if a guy from Harvard is going to be serious about the topic, then maybe some of these other universities will fall in line. I think that was the premise.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah, that sucks, Daryl.
Yeah. But knowing how political arenas work and everything and what goes on with it. Yeah.
He's definitely got a connection to the government. I mean, many people like to drive to his house 7 hours away for some reason.
Yeah. All right. So we got Eric Burleson. Let's move on from Avi. Let's move on. Eric Burleson confirms they are in the process of acquiring its reel-to-reel audio from MIT Lincoln Labs. Supposedly, they've been saying it's like Lincoln Logs. It's actually not video, but it's audio. So the information that has been coming out from there, they're calling it an AF Attic film. Oh, no. It's actually just an AF-ATIC audio. Although they specifically called for it with that file name. That just seems like, no, we're not going to give you the film. We'll give you the audio from it, but we're not going to give you the video. That seems like the government, if you want to call it, still perpetuating the cover-up, Daryl.
Yeah, we were talking about this yesterday. I thought so it is an audio file. It is
Now they're
film.
saying it's audio. It's coming out again. They're saying it's audio when this information was given out from Burleson's office earlier. It's like, oh, it's a misunderstanding. But if you call something with a file name an AF-ATIC film,
and we figure that's Air Force Air.
It was the ATIC thing, yeah.
Intelligence Command, AFIC, AFIC.
Yeah.
Air Force Technical Intelligence Command, yeah.
Well, something from 1952 shouldn't still be classified, but unfortunately it is.
Welcome to the federal government.
Yeah, it has to be, Ryan, and I'll tell you why. Because that audio, and anyone that's been talking about this recently, failed to inform the public on what these events actually were that happened in 1952. 2 weekends, Friday and Saturday, July 19th and 20th was the first weekend, and July 26th and 27th was the second weekend, right after each other, where we had UFOs, not just flying around Washington, D.C., they specifically were flying directly over the White House and staying there, that everybody could fucking see.
Yeah.
And this happened for 2 weekends in a row. It was a very dramatic thing that happened back then. And they tried to put a lid on it because they didn't want the public to see it for what it was when this was occurring. And this was in 1952. And allegedly, we had an agreement that took place between Eisenhower and the NHI in 54. So this could have been a message. So that's the incident that they're talking about. I would like to, I don't care if it's an audio file. I would like to hear what this general was briefing them on at that event.
Probably one of my favorite events of all time. Not just that, but there are also sightings occurring across the country at that time. There was a massive wave across the country.
Right. Now, if we get into it a little bit more, I've got a video here coming from News Nation talking about, they're talking about in this one, the Pentagon just went public with direct energy weapons, but there's a whole other side and so much more they're not telling us about how these advanced weapons really are. This is the kind of stuff where the technology from the non-human intelligence, Mike, may have been tied back to, non-human intelligence recoveries we've had to figure out how can we take this stuff. We're not going to figure out how to use it for good, not for medical, not for, general energy. We look at anything we gather in that area specifically as something weapon to empower us as a weapon or to empower our weapons.
Which is most of the research that they've done has been based on weapon technology.
Right. So when any of the stuff that's going to have been going on about weapon stuff, they will never release one frickin' character, one piece of text, one letter. They're not going to release even that one letter, Mike. Nothing. It'll all be completely redacted.
Right. I don't expect them to. We just want an acknowledgement that we're not alone on this earth.
Know, what the fuck are you doing here?
Right.
I don't care why you're here. I don't care where you're from, higher technology and everything is. At least as humans and we're part of what's going on, what the fuck are you doing here? Now, we could ask our government, what are you trying to do to stop this? No. Basic, what are you doing here?
Oh, first we want the government to acknowledge that they're fucking here in the first place.
Yeah.
That's what we want, and we haven't gotten it yet.
I don't care why they're here. It'd be nice to know. I don't care where they're from, what their family is, what they do and the whole thing and how their whole civilization and their consciousness and all the technology and everything works. That's all secondary to the first thing of what are they doing here. And that's what we all should be asking and need to ask. It's the most basic question. Forget about the stories and all the bullshit and all the things that everybody knows so much more than anybody else, and what person saw this and everything else. Irrespective of all that noise, what are they doing here? That's what Mike, Daryl, Scooby in the back, everyone in the front chat, I think that's what everybody just wants to know. Forget about all the bullshit talks and all the we're gonna have whistleblowers coming out on this and that. Wonderful. Bring it all out, the details that we'll never get. Get us the point of just open it up to society. If you want to get through something that's going to be, what do you call it? Disclosure that's not catastrophic, you got to bring it out to everybody at the same time. But you have to start. And not just start with, well, we're going to give you some pictures, and you can go ahead and decide what you think this shit really is. That's not
I agree with you 100%. Sorry, not
Disclosure does. Go ahead,
I agree with you 100%, Thomas. And also, they still think that their excuse they're using is that it's going to be like watching a Godzilla movie when people running down the streets panicking, which is bullshit. So I'll get off here.
Have you seen the what do you call it, trailers for Godzilla Zero?
No.
You haven't seen that, Mike? Oh my God.
No.
Audience, if there's someone who's watched that, fucking pop up in the chat and tell me. Fucking amazing. They're getting Godzilla out of Japan, and they've got him coming by the Statue of Liberty into New York.
Oh, cool.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be a good one.
What's that, on Apple TV?
No, it's like going to be like a theatrical release and the whole thing.
Oh, good.
And then you'll be able to get it to watch it wherever it is, but yeah.
That's what they're saying is going to happen if they release the information. It's bullshit. People running down the streets, jumping out of windows. Come on, that's ridiculous. You know,
well, we've already got that going on every day. It's called frickin' meth and heroin, and then we do have our zombies these days, although they're more hooked up on fentanyl. All right, so we got those videos. We got that. We got a bunch. Okay, so no, we're not going to play that one. We'll get into that. We got Avi, saucers over DC. We covered that. Oh, we covered that one early. All right. Now, so we got Getty Shorts here talking with Lou Elizondo. Sorry, I got to hide everybody here. All right, just me. Lou Elizondo, Christopher Mellon, and, oh, God, what was her name? From the Washington Post, reporter, Mike? I forget her name.
Leslie Keane.
Yes, thank you, Daryl. Appreciate that.
Yep.
Let's see where this goes. Disclosure discussion, as it's being called. Happy Friday. Oh, and by the way, Daryl, here's the national security for us and our audience. Here's everybody.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Pandora's box that we now see, this UAP disclosure push. It all started with the three of you, right?
I would say it started with the two of them, and then they came to me.
See, I would say it started with you two.
No, I would say it started with this guy. Who,
I had nothing to do with it.
Okay, there's your answer.
Was there like a secret bench, or was there a handoff?
Hold on. That was a really good question. I don't think that's been ever asked before in an interview where there's Lou and Christopher Mellon at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, they both
Mellon
effectuated.
denies it. Lou acknowledges it.
With this guy. Who,
I had nothing to do with it.
I have nothing to do with it. He's laughing.
There's your answer.
Was there like a secret bench, or was there a handoff?
We met in a hotel.
We met in a hotel lobby.
Well, it was it?
Yeah.
But they had a sort of large lobby area that you could go off and be private. I mean, it's like almost like a little restaurant, big space. I remember. Yeah. I mean, am I allowed to say that you were frightened because you were going out into the public world for the first time?
That's putting it mildly.
Okay.
We have.
So that's good to know. When he was going through this, he was telling the stuff to Leslie. He was fucking afraid for what was going to go on. It humanizes the situation. I don't think we've ever heard that description from Lou, have we, Mike?
No, we have not. Not even privately.
No.
He hasn't admitted that. I know.
No.
So
Good so
it
far.
shows you, yeah, he's definitely human. Well, we know that already.
Yep.
Not perfect. So it's okay.
And
Means
you
he's
know what?
real.
You make mistakes, you acknowledge them.
Right.
And you
That's
move
right.
on. Here we go.
Yep.
Come leaps and bounds since that happened. We have now thousands and thousands of pages of declassified reports. We have mountains of video to sift through, and yet the elusive nature of whatever this is, at least for myself, it still escapes me. I cannot put my finger on exactly what UAPs are, and yet the question remains: Are we being visited by some sort of higher intelligence?
I believe so, and I believe that'll come out eventually. So I think there are individuals that have had experiences that probably give them a lot of firsthand insight. I think the question is more institutions, and do our institutions, have they been able to upload this and process it and take it on board? And that's less clear to me.
I'll never forget you describing a certain video to me that may have existed, or at least a pilot's encounter that seemed to have been documented, where a craft came within 50 feet, I believe. And we have not seen that video. In fact, every time there is a release,
it's closer than 50 feet.
I come looking for that particular video, and I have not seen it yet. Do you anticipate the release of some higher fidelity video?
Okay, here we go. Here you've got a craft that's coming in, and it's within 15 feet of the overall plane. God damn it, where'd it go? I can't loop it, but if you get into it, and then we zoom in, open, you be serious, you want to open up the Apple TV. I'll bring it out and show it. Yeah. They come really close to our aircraft, and there's nothing our pilots can do to go ahead and keep them from getting so close.
That could completely put this issue to bed?
So, first of all, it's not up to me, but I will tell you there are efforts behind the scenes to do exactly that. That decision is not mine. But I think if you were to ask Chris or...
Hold on really quick.
I will put this issue to bed, this particular video, and I have not seen it yet. Do you anticipate the release of some higher fidelity video that could completely put this issue to bed?
Okay, here's the answer, everybody, that we're all going to look for. Are we going to get better video than we've gotten before? Right? Listen, this is the guy who's working with the people to get this shit out. Listen to exactly what he's saying, and this is going to answer the question about how they can talk about where it's at.
So, first of all, it's not up to me, but I will tell you there are efforts behind the scenes to do exactly that. That decision is not mine. But I think if you were to ask Chris or Leslie or myself, there are efforts underway right now to try and compel some of these organizations to strip the metadata of some of these videos and provide them to the American people. So the American people can see exactly what some of us have already been exposed to in the past.
The more sophisticated or the more compelling from our terms the video is, the harder.
Might handle this when I come, if I'm not here when it finishes. Here we go.
It is to get it declassified.
Last year, NASA said, for the record, none of our astronauts have any relevant information to provide about UAP, and we don't have any information in our holdings about UAP. A month ago, during the second tranche release, there were multiple files and videos released by NASA itself where they have pictures taken from the surface of the moon during the Apollo mission, where they have taken pictures, photographs of some sort of anomalous activity above the surface of the moon. Now, what did NASA say following that release? They said it is quite possible that what we are seeing here are actual things. These are not lens flare or anything like that. And keep in mind, if you look at that contextually to what we had orbiting the moon at that time, we had one thing only, and that was a lunar orbiter waiting to rendezvous with the lunar lander. There were no satellites orbiting the moon back then. So if we now have photographs, we now have audio tapes of astronauts having conversations about something. The real question is, what else do we have?
Do you think that this year may be the year that we find out whether or not we are alone on this planet?
I would say, if I had to predict, I would say there'll be more data. There'll be better data by the end of the year.
And more confusion.
And still not necessarily a resolution yet.
Pandora's box that we now see.
Lou is talking more than he ever has in the past, isn't he, Mike?
Yeah, because he's with Chris.
No.
And we don't have any.
It's not because Chris is there.
Why do you think it is then?
I met with him about 2 weeks ago on this coming Monday.
Right.
And he said there's a lot of things that he could have said that he hasn't been saying. And it's time to start saying them now.
Yeah, like the millions of documents that the government still has, they haven't released yet.
Millions of documents.
Right.
So I missed part of it. You know, he brings up some stuff about NASA, different things that are going on, different stuff that we're dealing with. He's bringing up different examples of the information that's coming out, and he's giving us an analysis on it from a intelligence agent's perspective of what we're really looking at. And that's what the public deserves.
They do. But I wanted to let you know that Jay Albertson joined us recently, and Tom Whitmore just came in.
Oh, nice. And we have Gene. Nice. Was Gene still around?
Gene left.
Okay. He never popped his hand up.
No, he has a sick dog. I think he's dealing with at home.
Yeah, absolutely. So anyone in the back want to comment on where we're seeing Lou talking about this, what he's bringing forward, and kind of where we're headed?
I think it's wonderful to see Lou out there trying to press for disclosure and to help us to bring stuff forward. Yes, you know, I understand people make mistakes and everything, but you shouldn't hold that against them. Everybody's human. People make mistakes.
Jay, have you ever gotten a ticket for driving a car?
Exactly. I have. Yes.
Yeah.
Like that's, yeah. Like everybody makes mistakes, you know, and I myself have made mistakes while investigating. I got, blindsided myself, and I had to have somebody else tell me from the outside, hey, you might want to take another look at that, maybe, look at it differently. But with Lou, I'm glad he's coming out. I'm glad that he's pressing this subject, and I hope that more comes out in the future with him.
Yeah, we all hope it's going to get that way. About the only way we can look at it, we have to have a positive outlook, but you can't set your expectations too high. Don't think the things that are going to happen that we want to happen are going to happen.
You're gonna get yourself disappointed if you do that. So
it's like we came into the disclosure forum, right, Jay? And we said, what? Don't expect anything. But if we get something that comes out of it that's good, let's celebrate at that point in time.
Yeah, 100%, Thomas, 100%.
All right, so here's part of it. An audio we probably may have heard before, but maybe we didn't. Ex-Pentagon intel official Chris Mellon just dropped a bomb. Official FBI Air Force files from 2019 confirm multiple UFOs merging into a massive mothership before it's vanished. It's only 28 seconds, goddammit, but...
What happened in 2019, 2020 out west, that went on for months, and it was crazy. I mean, we're talking swarms of unidentified objects and a mothership coming in and them going inside it and that thing taking off at lightning speed. So there's a lot of very intrusive activity that is unlike what we've seen before.
So what they're talking about here is the drone thing we were just talking about last week, is the stuff that was going on in Montana, Colorado, the western state, or the midwestern states, not the western, if you want to call it coastal states. But when they were dealing with all those drones that were, taking over the skies over big sections of those part of the country, we've never got the truth on any of that stuff. All right, so a clip from Jeremy Corbell promoting for his Weaponized podcast over on X. And this is a clip of them talking about Lockheed, different military contractors who may have their hands into some technology. So on that note, let's go ahead and play and see what Jeremy's sharing with us. Here we go, everybody.
Feasible that the UFO cover-up exists within a private company.
Lockheed Martin.
Or Lockheed.
Lockheed was one of those involved. Lockheed wanted to divest their NHI, non-human intelligence, UAP or UFO materials, a material transfer of UAP that was supposed to happen to OSAP from Lockheed, and that was shut down specifically by CIA-involved individuals. And there's an individual who was head of science and technology at that time. This craft had a streamlined configuration suitable for aerodynamic flight, but no intakes, no exhaust, no wings or control surfaces. In fact, it appeared not to have an engine, fuel tanks, or fuel. So, is this what they were hoping to get to study from Lockheed? Do you know?
Yeah. Yes. There is non-human technology, something from somewhere else, whether it's ET or interdimensional, something that we did not make that crashed, that we've been analyzing, that's been stashed in presumably special access programs, controlled by defense contractors, presumably funded secretly by.
Okay, just really quick. You there, Mike or Daryl? The stuff that we're looking
right
at,
here.
Yes.
the stuff that they're bringing out concerned about Lockheed, the biggest thing they mention all the time that they miss mentioning is the DOE. What's up with that? It's like they're focused on the military contractors, but they haven't opened it up to the whole full spectrum of where it's actually what's going on.
Which the DOE is the national laboratory systems throughout the country.
Right.
And it has to do with universities that are involved in this directly
So
with
maybe they're
legacy
getting
programs.
information out of like Lockheed and those contractors, but they're not getting the information coming out of the people who are actually working on the heavy duty stuff out of the DOE, where that operation to keep people silent and keep them from talking about it is effective. Where dealing with more of the military contractors, their ability of the government to keep everything silent is less effective.
Yeah. Well, listen, we know that Gary Nolan, not that long ago, said that he was in a facility that had material in it from NHI, from UAP. And he said that, believe it or not, the security was rather lax. As a matter of fact, some of the materials they were working on, they had out in the open. And he said you could have actually climbed a fence and had access to it. He was surprised by that, if you remember.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they seem to be.
And that goes against the premise that 90% of the money that comes in for these programs is pushed into security. But it sounds like that organization who was dealing with it was taking that 90% of the money and freaking skimming off the top.
Right. Which is, we know, happens all the time with the government black projects.
Oh, they're trustworthy. Well, we can trust the government. Was it 9% of our audience said yes?
Right.
91% of the audience said no, we can't trust the government.
Right. Of course, because they're not stupid. They know. But the material that Lockheed was working on was exactly that. Material. It was crash material that was recovered at Roswell that they were given to back in 47. And it's not a solid craft or bodies. It's material. That's all Lockheed
they would
had.
give them, Lockheed, the scope
The
to
actual
go ahead
craft?
and figure out the energy systems?
No, that would go through DOE, which is my next
You're
point I
sure
was
on
about to make. Yeah, I'm positive.
Why?
That would go.
Why are you positive?
Why? I'm positive because DOE deals with specifically atomic energy and anything related to anything that produces energy or electromagnetism. They wouldn't give it to Lockheed. They would give it to their national
Right,
laboratory
because
system.
Wasn't it when, after they had the Manhattan Project,
Yes.
They flipped it over into a new nuclear program, and they took everything that was coming in from Roswell and put it into that silo, but even under more scrutiny. Right?
Yes, they did. That's absolutely right. But we know that because we've done the research, and we know how they've been hiding this stuff and where it's been going. So the Department of Energy is the place where, if you want the meat and potatoes of UAP craft, that's where you're going to find it.
Absolutely. Great conversation. Jay, hands up.
Yeah, I was also going to say, Mike, to add on to that also, into that that declaration by Department of Energy, it is also a fact that there is a subsection in there for weapons of any weapon that they determine could be used as a weapon. So they could designate a pencil as a weapon, or, something like that. It's anything they can designate as a weapon that could be used in anything with energy or any kind of chemical or anything. It's still DOE with that as well, too.
Right.
It's just another subsection. It's
You're
a
right, Jay.
subsection
So
underneath
if you
the regular.
have a craft that's powered by this particular source, and in that craft they found a transparent water bottle, and it was sitting on the table in there.
That could be used as a weapon.
Well, it could be used as a weapon, but because it
Or
was
as a
there
weapon
and part of that
system, yeah.
craft and adjacent to the energy technology that's in it, everything from there goes to the DOE.
Yes. Exactly. But there's different, like I said, there's different subsections under DOE for weapons of mass destruction and different subsections they can use to use imminent domain and go into your house and
not
take
even
it.
a WMD, weapons of mass destruction. No, it's anything that exhibits a nuclear decay.
Yeah, anything with nuclear technology.
Anything with a nuclear decay, or they can relate it to a nuclear decay. So if you've got something in a craft that has some kind of nuclear decay in it, everything that's in that craft, including that water bottle, is now all subject to that same level of security because it's related to...
It all gets lumped up under the same thing. Yep,
right.
Exactly. Yep.
That's how they keep it all quiet.
And as Mike likes to always point out, you can't FOIA the DOE.
You cannot. Absolutely not, Darryl. You're right. Plus, we know anybody that's been exposed directly to these craft at close range, they've all exhibited like radiation burns. So we know.
I was exposed in when I went into that UAP landing site, Mike. Remember, I had alopecia actually for like 4 or 5 months, and my hair actually had to grow back.
Yeah, I remember, which is similar to radiation effects.
100%.
Which is why they classified it under that for the DOE. So we know. So when Chris Mellon is sitting there saying that, he doesn't know very much, he doesn't know or think that the government has knowledge on this, sure they do. They absolutely do.
They even had Gary Nolan looking into. They snuck in some UFO cases in with the Havana syndrome cases, and they were the same kind of case that happened, but it was different cases. 2, 3 were UFO, and the rest were Havana.
Well, no, he said he did pretty extensive studies on people that were exposed to UAP, and he said that he found that the corticum of their brain was significantly different from that of a normal person.
Those were ones of people who were abducted, not people who were, if you want to call it, exposed to the ship. Now, we're talking about distance when these craft are operating, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So this is a quick video that I've got enhanced just with more contrast coming in. This jet fighter is going 450 miles an hour. This UAP that's coming in is going about 3,500 to 4,000 miles an hour. Based on, you look at how many pixels per frame this moves versus that one, this thing is booking. But if you look at it coming in, and I'll just blow it up a little bit as it comes in, that actually goes in within 15 feet of the actual craft, maybe about 20 feet from the actual pilot. So if when this thing is tumbling in and moving and it comes in that close to the pilot, is it because, for 1 to 3, this is going at 240 frames a second, so it's really fast. Is it going to affect them? We don't know. But
not sure, because the plane could be shielded as well too for that kind of.
It may not be you, depending on where the glass is and the object is. But yeah, you got something because you were close to something. This guy could have got something.
I wasn't in like any kind of like, I was completely exposed. I wasn't in a plane, car, or anything.
Not. But it also shows in what's going on. If they get close to us, they don't care.
Oh no, they don't. They don't.
Right.
Nope.
You're in our way.
They say either you get out of the way and you're either going to get affected, or you get out the way.
Yeah.
You gotta answer the bird skeptics now.
Oh, fuck the bird skeptics. We're not going to go ahead and go down that path again.
I'm sorry, but a bird is not flying faster than that airplane. We can dismiss that right now.
And it's not parallax or anything else. Go someplace else. We're talking about the possibilities of, we've got a video here that shows this. We're not going to go ahead and try and debate it at this point. You can go debate that someplace else. We're trying to figure out the intent, the possibilities of what's going on. And yeah, that's like the craft is like a 3.5 feet to 5 feet long, maybe a little bit longer compared to the overall size of the plane that we know what it is. We watch it come out of the background. So if you keep on following it at the start, it comes up out of the distance.
And it's definitely not a balloon, because it's going down, not up.
You can see it come in from the up. It comes out. Watch. It comes out of the clouds. Can you see it in the clouds here?
Yep.
It's coming out of the clouds.
It's coming in a downward motion, which is not a balloon. It's not a bird. It's.
And remember, every frame you're seeing is at 240 frames a second.
And there's no way for you to be able to play it.
If I were to double the speed, that would still be in half speed. So if I take it down, if people want to go ahead of this, I need to go video. I have to tell it to loop. And then I have to go to view playback speed. I can double it.
Yeah. So that's not even, so it still is twice as fast as that, right?
Right. And if you look really close, right around here when it happens, you zoom in. So it's twice as fast, it's double that speed you're seeing right now.
Yeah. So it's absolutely not a bird. People now switch to insect, and it's not an insect because of the some other reasons that we've discussed a billion times.
We just watched it come out of the clouds out in the distance.
Right.
An insect isn't coming out of the clouds and coming out of it.
Right on.
Yeah. So this is the kind of stuff we need as proof, because Daryl, how many other videos are out there of UFOs going ahead and interacting with fighter jets that we can actually see?
One. I don't think there's
one.
Right.
Oh. Take Tylenol. Oh, I would just take double Tylenol. Yeah, so there we go. You can see what's going on. It's just the stuff we're going to talk about this time and time again. But yeah, you take it down. You can watch what it's doing. Is that near the end? There we go.
Oh, I take that back. There is another video of the red arrows again. Actually, two videos. Also, the red arrows where there's been something that's passed through.
I have looked at hundreds of hours of videos from the red arrows over Malta, and I've seen a lot of insects. And you can tell the difference between a fly, because a fly over so many frames, you'll get it to where the wings are out or the wings aren't there, or the wings are out or they're not. And it's a regular pattern over a certain number of frames. You can also deal with it when they're a lot closer, they're a lot blacker, they're a lot bigger.
Yeah, somebody made something. These are all the same comments you get before. Talking about that's not a good video. The guy that took this was, what was he? He was a
He was the director of Love Island from Malta. They were having a Malta episode. This was in 2021, year after COVID. And he was there, and there was an air show going in Malta, and he went out from right in front of the hotel and recorded this stuff. And there was only a couple of the videos that actually had kind of stuff going in. He didn't intend to record it. He couldn't see the shit that was going on. But after he went through the footage that he had gathered from looking at the stuff, because he likes looking at his videos and stuff, he saw this. It was given to my friend and directly to me. So it's like 1 degree of separation, but it's literally, and he was using an iPhone 11 Pro Max.
And you can set it to record in 240 frames per second. I didn't realize you could do that.
Yeah. iOS, baby. And it has all this stuff. Now there's some pictures and everything. Not everything has the GPS in it, but the ones that it's the live photos, when you take an image of something, but it's actually a short video, you actually do go ahead and get the GPS location of it. And there was another one he had of over this particular crane in the distance, to where the object is just sitting at the top, and as he is looking at the crane out in the distance and moving the camera up and down a little bit, you can see that there's a UFO parked right above this crane, just fucking sitting there, but it's tumbling in space. In the same way you see this going ahead and tumbling when it's moving in. Like it's going through some kind of a regular... You can see it's like horizontal, vertical, horizontal, vertical, horizontal, and so on. So it's spinning pretty fast. All right, enough of this. All right, back to this.
By the public, not even members of Congress get to see.
It was Dr. Edgar Mitchell, Sixth Man to Walk on the Moon, a guy that I filmed a bunch with. When he died, this memo was in his archive. It wasn't something the public was supposed to see. But additionally, when this got out, it shows this guy Wilson, Admiral Wilson, who I believe was the J2 at the time. The J2 has oversight over all the black budget SAPs. And he was furious that he didn't have access to one of them, let's say, I don't know, at Lockheed. Whose job is it to not let people know the fundamental nature of reality that we live in? As we've always suspected, the CIA has a lot of communication and oversight and kind of their hands in a lot of these retrieval programs.
Let's say Marco Rubio convinces the Pentagon or Lockheed Martin, let me into the hangar, let me see the craft. Oh, there's the bodies. He gets to see that with his own eyes and then goes back and what? Can he say it?
You've got a guy who did the investigation, provided that to the inspector general, and said, here is the street address of where this UFO material is being held. Can we assume that this craft that Dr. Lakatsky has direct firsthand knowledge of is exactly what Lockheed has?
You're telling us, you told us, because you were allowed to tell us, that our government has a UFO in its possession and has been able to access the inside of it, right?
Yes. But it's delicate. It's
why is it delicate?
Our enemies. And our enemies, you can be sure they're listening to this show right now.
I don't think anybody involved with the cover-up should face any prison time. Let's move on.
I'm with you on that up to a point. There are lines that should not be crossed.
Like what?
If you threaten to kill somebody, or if you actually do silence them through violence.
Got you. Agreed.
I got in touch
Interesting
with
conversation
Martin
on that, definitely. It's not done yet. Wait, there's more. We're done.
Weeks ago, and I said, look, there's these allegations that you have in your possession non-human materials. Do you? Lockheed Martin? And they were like, any questions to do with UAP, you need to go to the US government. I'm like, okay, do I also need to go to the US government to find out if you've got Santa Slay as well?
All right, there we go. Interesting conversation.
Does the U.S. government have Santa Slay?
What was that, Daryl?
He said he'd have to go to the U.S. government to get Santa Slay. Do they have Santa Slay? Yeah, I'm sorry.
Maybe.
You know what? Michael's had his hand up for like 20 hours.
Michael Sokoloff, I'm sorry. I missed you. I'm blind.
What's going on in Canada?
So my question is, do you think the government has given corporations too much power?
Power in what way?
Like they have more rights than an individual?
Well, I think we played a speech from former President Dwight D. Eisenhower when he was leaving office in 1960. And he said exactly that, Michael, that the military-industrial complex is become too powerful and is becoming dangerous. So this was over 60 years ago.
Yeah.
Nothing has changed from then to now.
Directed at corporations that seem to
Yes.
be able to get away with a lot more than an individual ever could.
Yes, Michael, correct.
Oh.
But this has been going on for decades now.
You say it was a military-industrial complex speech, right, from Eisenhower, right?
That's the one. We played it countless times here on the show.
Well, here we go.
First, I should like to
We'll start with view of the White House from outside. Here we go.
From the White House in the office of the President of the United States, we present an address by Dwight D. Eisenhower. This
The
is
feed
the
before it
farewell
goes
address
on.
for President Eisenhower, whose 8 years as chief executive come to an end at noon Friday. Mr. Eisenhower has chosen this time for his final speech. Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States.
Good evening, my fellow Americans. First, I should like to express my gratitude to the radio and television networks for the opportunities they have given me over the years to bring reports and messages to our nation. My special thanks go to them for the opportunity of addressing you this evening. 3 days from now, after half a century in the service of our country, I shall lay down the responsibilities of office as, in traditional and solemn ceremony, the authority of the presidency is vested in my successor. This evening, I come to you with a message of leave-taking and farewell, and to share a few final thoughts with you, my countrymen. Like every other citizen, I wish the new president and all who will labor with him Godspeed. I pray that the coming years will be blessed with peace and prosperity for all. Our people expect their president and the Congress to find essential agreement on issues of great moment, the wise resolution of which will better shape the future of the nation. My own relations with the Congress, which began on a remote and tenuous basis when, long ago, a member of the Senate appointed me to West Point, have since ranged to the intimate during the war and immediate post-war period, and finally to the mutually interdependent during these past 8 years. In this final relationship, the Congress and the administration have, on most vital issues, cooperated well to serve the nation good rather than mere partisanship, and so have assured that the business of the nation should go forward. So my official relationship with the Congress and
Yes, Ryan. You have something relevant to what the president's saying here?
Yeah, I guess the question is how many trillions of dollars have been spent on misappropriated funds that have not been accountable to the Congress?
Yeah, a big picture down the road, but he's just warning us about it now.
Yeah, I know. He warned it in the past, but I was referring to what Michael was saying. And how much of our $40 trillion debt can be attributed to the amount of money that has been gone missing?
About 21 trillion, Ryan.
Oh my
Last
God.
count.
So there you go. That's why we need disclosure. We can also get the financial house in order in this country before we reach 50 trillion. So
let's get back to Ike. Here we go.
a feeling on my part of gratitude that we have been able to do so much together. We now stand 10 years past the midpoint of a century that has witnessed 4 major wars among great nations. 3 of these involved our own country. Despite these holocausts, America is today the strongest, the most influential, and most productive nation in the world. Understandably proud of this preeminence, we yet realize that America's leadership and prestige depend not merely upon our unmatched material progress, riches, and military strength, but on how we use our power in the interest of world peace and human betterment. Throughout America's adventure in free government, our basic purposes have been to keep the peace, to foster progress in human achievement, and to enhance liberty, dignity, and integrity among peoples and among nations, to strive for less.
Again, this is the foundation where we should have been sent towards today.
Would be unworthy of a free and religious people. Any failure traceable to arrogance or our lack of comprehension or readiness to sacrifice would inflict upon us grievous hurt, both at home and abroad. Progress toward these noble goals is persistently threatened by the conflict now engulfing the world. It commands our whole attention, absorbs our very beings. We face a hostile ideology, global in scope, atheistic in character, ruthless in purpose, and insidious in method. Unhappily, the danger it poses promises to be of indefinite duration. To meet it successfully, there is call for not so much the emotional and transitory sacrifices of crisis, but rather those which enable us to carry forward steadily, surely, and without complaint, the burdens of a prolonged and complex struggle with liberty, the stake. Only thus shall we remain, despite every provocation, on our charted course toward permanent peace and human betterment. Crises there will continue to be. In meeting them, whether foreign or domestic, great or small, there is a recurring temptation to feel that some spectacular and costly action could become the miraculous solution to all current difficulties. A huge increase in newer elements of our defenses, development of unrealistic programs to cure every ill in agriculture, a dramatic expansion in basic and applied research. These and many other possibilities, each possibly promising in itself, may be suggested as the only way to the road we wish to travel. But each proposal must be weighed in the light of a broader consideration, the need to maintain balance in and among national programs. Balance between the private and the public economy. Balance between the cost and hoped for advantages. Balance between the clearly necessary and the comfortably desirable. Balance between our essential requirements as a nation and the duties imposed by the nation upon the individual. Balance between actions of the moment.
Okay, hold on. With that in mind, bunch of speeches there. Do we want to hear the whole speech or just the important part?
The important part.
There we go.
Guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought, by the military-industrial complex. The potential for the disastrous rise of misplaced power exists and will persist. We must never let the weight of this combination endanger our liberties or democratic processes. We should take nothing for granted. Only an alert and knowledgeable citizenry can compel the proper meshing of the huge industrial and military machinery of defense with our peaceful methods and goals, so that security and liberty may prosper together.
So there you go, Mike. That's the important part, warning us about the military-industrial complex and the power they may hold.
And then they assassinated the next president.
Kennedy.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, Kennedy.
Yep.
And that was 66 years ago,
And
Darryl.
Mike, they're still covering it up today.
Oh, yeah, we still haven't gotten all the fucking files. I know.
Yeah.
66 years when everybody that was there involved in all of that is long dead and buried.
Yeah.
And they're still fucking covering it up. Gee, I wonder why that is. Nothing good.
Some of the pictures I've got, we've got Canada throws a curveball as it signals its interest in joining the GCAP 6th generation fighter program out of Europe. So they're not going to be buying into the F-35. They're going to go for a next gen platform 10 years down the road, maybe 20. At least it gives them to hold off on spending that money that they don't have.
Yeah, that's true. Good point.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, UAP Disclosure Act. We talked about that one earlier today. Luna. Yeah, this is a picture you just want to go ahead and just open up your mind to and just imagine them looking down at you. But it's not just their eyes, it's their mind. No. Yeah, little motherfuckers. All right, we covered Luna.
Yeah.
All right. There was one here about Rob Heatherly saying an outstanding effort with the creation of Vanguard. Okay, so they've got a new I think we played part of this. Yeah, we played that one already, didn't we, Mike?
With Vanguard?
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
Let's play this clip here.
And we are very excited. We are very excited to announce and fortunate to announce now that we're in a position to do so, the first ever disclosure grant. And so please welcome to the stage Dylan Borland, Matthew Brown.
Mike, it's something to put on their tax report. $10,000 going out from the Disclosure Foundation.
Okay.
And Jeff Nucitelli.
Thanks, Bob. Well, Mike, I gotta ask the question. Where the fuck is Jeremy Corbell?
Nowhere to be found,
the
I'm
guy
sure.
who's been bringing these people on, bringing it out. Why are they not celebrating Jeremy at the same time? That seems like a total fuck you, Jeremy. Right?
Yeah. Well, Matthew Brown is a personal friend of Jeremy's. He's the one who brought him out. And he wasn't there. So,
why?
Very interesting.
Is that Danny Sheehan over there on the left, right above your head? The white hair?
No, that's that's Sheehan. Yeah.
You can spot that hair ahead a mile away.
Oh, I can go ahead and bring in Pixie. I need to. Yeah, that is Sheehan. You got him, and that's Dr. Keith Taylor is right here too. I recognize that.
Yeah.
Black head. Yep. And there's
Keith
a bunch
is always there.
That over here that's oh God, who's the one we're just talking about? Sarah Gam.
Oh God.
Yeah, and there's a bunch of people all over this audience.
No, it doesn't look like there are a lot of people in the audience at that point.
No, it's like, Daryl, how dare you?
I mean, there's a lot of empty
seats missing between people, aren't there?
There's a lot of empty seats, period.
So, Mike Morris, you should have went down there. You would have fit perfectly within all those people. We would never have recognized you. Of course we would have. He watches the show usually. I could call him and say, why didn't you go there? Shall we? Let's ask him.
I'd also be curious about Tom Whitmore's opinion on how he felt this forum went, if he's available.
Love you, my friend. Always have. Always wanted.
I couldn't watch it.
You
couldn't watch it because I was busy trying to finish my chapter 7 in my book, which I just finished today.
Ooh.
Congratulations, Tom.
Thank you.
How many chapters are you going to have?
I'm shooting for 20.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. At least 5,000 words. This chapter came out to be about 6,100 words.
What's the title, or what's the scope you're going for in it, Tom?
Well, the subject it has 2 parts. The first part is the history of the MJ-12 controversy. And then the second part is going to be what I call perspectives on MJ-12, which are some research papers that are already on my my blog site, but that are going to be rewritten and re-researched. And you know, there's new material now because of all the activity that's occurred since 2017. And you know, I felt for a long time that if there really was any true disclosure, that we little old citizens, you know, the volunteer amateur UFO investigators, that we would all be swept aside. And, you know, the Carl Sagans of the world would jump in and take credit for everything. Okay. And
so with that in mind, how do you feel that what you saw from the disclosure forum that happened a couple days ago, actually, you didn't get to see it yet, but yeah.
Well, and I was getting to that because it's kind of almost like we may be heading for some kind of a disclosure because certain more elite people haven't hijacked the movement, but they've moved in and they're running it, you know, and I'm not complaining.
They call about a slow disclosure, a catastrophic disclosure, but it feels like it's more of a scripted disclosure that's trying to push us down at this point.
Well, I'll take anything I can get. Okay.
Yeah.
And, you know, some people might say, well, you know, it's a nothing burger. And as far as I'm concerned, it's a nothing burger until they confirm a recovered saucer and the alien bodies.
Amen.
Or until they produce unambiguous, and I mean unambiguous film or photos and documents, you know, that support it and all that kind of thing. But I mean, I'm not complaining because I think generally the people that are running this now, the Chris Mellons and Lou Elizondo and you know, some of these other folks, I think they're doing a good job, and they have the prestige, like, you know, Gary Nolan is a PhD scientist, and you know, there are other people with you know, PhDs, like at least Avi Loeb, you know, he's respected in the scientific community. He may not be exactly aligned with our point of view. He may or may not be. I don't know. But, you know, you have people with a prestige that can, you know, that can exert some influence. And I think that's a good thing. And we'll just have to see. But like I was saying, that we would be swept aside and certain people would move in, you know, and take over. And I think this is like the prequel to that. If we ever actually get disclosure and confirmation. And then all of a sudden the scientists, I'm sure, will go, well, you know, we knew it all along, you know, we knew it was true, and they'll take credit for it. I'm kind of
take credit for lying to us all these years.
They'll take credit for having the scientific gravitas to handle the subject. Okay.
Don't you think Neil deGrasse Tyson is kind of doing that with his new book?
Yeah, I mean, and that's an indication right there that he's turned around 180 degrees, don't you think?
I do. I agree with that.
This is what we almost got this morning if they actually gave us files. We didn't get them because it's a mess. Sorry, go ahead.
So, you know, I think I lost my train of thought, but I've been a little bit resentful for some time that the certain people and the elites of the UFO community that are scientists have looked down on civilian volunteer amateur UFO researchers and investigators or the UFO groups, I should say, really. And they diss the UFO groups and look down on it, but it's the civilian UFO groups that have carried the torch all these years. Mm-hmm. And it's the scientific community and the academic community that, if they're interested at all, they've done it, you know, behind the scenes, and they haven't done it publicly, and they certainly haven't publicly promoted this. But I think things are changing, and I like what I'm seeing, and I think things are moving in the right direction. But of course, it's going to take a presidential order or executive order or some kind of action to crack this crack this thing open. And we just have to wait and see if we ever get to that point.
Right. So I think we're on the same page, Tom, when it comes down to it. We're never going to see anything coming in from, if you want to call it, the House or the Senate. You know, everything that we're getting right now is all coming from, if you want to call it, the executive branch. And I wish that we got more from other areas, but it just seems like they're dysfunctional at this point.
Well, the executive branch, it's almost like half their job is to stonewall and to slow everything down, when it comes to releasing information. Unless, of course, they need money. If they want money for their programs and their defense programs, then they're more than happy to share information with the Congress. And, I think that Congress people are doing what they can. They can only do so much, and they don't have any policing power. They can subpoena. I've thought for a long time that it would take a Watergate level special prosecutor to really dig into this and subpoena people and start putting people in jail to get anything with it. And it just remains to be seen whether the president and his people in this administration will really push this through. They may or they may not. To me, it's a 50-50 thing. Just flip a coin.
Right.
It's better than Biden, better than Trump 1, better than Obama 1 and 2. I mean, it's all better in my opinion, right, Tom? It's
yes, it is. It's I got into this around 1990, and until 2017, there was basically just a total, complete blackout on UFOs. Mm-hmm. When it came to the major media, the New York Times, Washington Post, and all this. And things have changed since 2017. And I've got to give some of these people credit for it because they have been pushing
your
it.
point of 2017 is when Lou came out, right?
Well, the New York Times article and Lou came out.
The New York Times article about Lou Elizondo.
Yeah, and TTSA and all this.
It's not a bad thing, but it just kind of points towards it's where we see this across everything. It's kind of like a lot of the stuff that we've been put down in this reality is coming from Lou doing what he did. It's not a bad thing. It's a good thing.
Well, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm saying it is a good thing.
Oh, yeah.
And to whatever extent you were saying, Tom, about To the Stars Academy being in that New York Times article also, for what it did put some people in front of other people like Hal Puthoff and some of the Jim Semivan and Mellon to begin with, and some other people. So I think you're right. I mean, that had an effect as well.
Well, there's a group of people. Some of them are, you could call them the aviary, because Hal Puthoff is actually a core member of, well, not a member of, but he's a core aviary labeled person, and he's been at this a long time. I mean, but mostly behind the scenes. But now a lot of this is coming out in public, and that's a good thing.
And the aviary, that's something that actually Rick has talked about a bunch of times.
Well, there were mainly contacts that Bill Moore and Jamie Chandray had developed in the 1980s, from the late 70s up to the 1990s until they dropped out of the UFO scene.
Right.
And Moore tried to make it sound like they were so high level. I don't think that most of the aviary members or the aviary people that we're aware of were as high level as he made them sound, unless there were several that we've never heard about that actually were truly.
There was a big thing that went on. I think it was in Nick, are you there? You're not there. I think it was mentioned. It was in 2004. I could be wrong on the date, but there was a situation. Actually, what year did the Tic Tac take place in?
04, November.
So it was 2000. Well, exactly. End of 2004. After the Tic Tac, there was this big push to come together and figure out, should we disclose? We saw the stuff that's going on at Tic Tac. Should we bring it forward? Lou was involved with all these things back at the time, and they needed to get a 3-star general to come from any of the different Navy or from the Air Force, wherever, to go ahead and be able to bring this stuff up to level where it needed to go. And there wasn't one 3-star general who would sign on to it because of the stigma and everything that's involved with it. But at that time, we were supposed to go ahead and move forward with disclosure. But in addition to the military heads who were trying to who wouldn't sign on to it, they had like a panel of like 36 people, I think, who came together. And it was people have talked about it, how Put Off and a bunch of people were there to talk about bringing out disclosure. And based on the impacts that they identified at that period in time, they figured disclosure was not the thing to bring forward to humanity at that time, and they shut it all down.
Yeah, I've heard that. I mean, they went through all the.
Yeah,
it was kind of like a tabletop exercise.
2 weeks ago on Monday. Seriously. He
Yeah.
was there. Things were going on. They actually had to debrief the president at that time to basically let him know what we were going to do, what we talked to you about, and what you can't talk about going forward. So it was kind of a whole of government thing that was happening, but it's part of that history, Tom, that we just have been shielded from. But it's what we wanted to hear, what was really going on in our favor. But, to hear the people who go ahead and shut it down said, no, we can't bring it out because the markets, the people, the religions and everything, they're not going to be able to deal with it. So do you think that looking back at that time, we're talking back to 2004 versus 2026, we're like over 20 years later at that point in time, 22 years later, you think we're in a better position to be able to bite the bullet?
You mean as society?
As society, to everybody to go ahead and, you heard about it on Friday, aliens are real, they're doing all these different things. We're getting some kind of information on it. Monday, you're back at work because you have a job and you need to pay the bills, but you're talking about with your friends.
Well, I think that society is much more conditioned for it now. There's been, at least on the science fiction side, there's been a lot going on since World War II. And, there's been this fascination with space travel and spacemen and, extraterrestrials and all this. And I think society in general, at least American society or Western society, that has been conditioned enough. Now, that's my personal opinion.
Yeah.
Okay. And I think it depends partly on how people interpret the information, because if we had confirmation that they had recovered a saucer and extraterrestrial, let's say just for purposes of discussion that they're extraterrestrials, okay, then aren't people going to start asking a lot more questions? They're not going to be satisfied with just that. And it's really opening a Pandora's box.
Question, how long, easy one, how long have you known? Right? What else do you know?
Yeah.
The basic things that go along with it. Yeah, we're not alone. But, have we ever not known that from a government standpoint? And the answer may come back and say, no, oh God, we've known about this forever.
Well, it's really a Pandora's box. And if you open that box, all the demons are going to come out. And that's why they don't want to open the Pandora's box.
but haven't enough of
Not that I want it to happen. You know, I want disclosure. I want the truth, nothing but the truth, the whole truth, everything. But that's not how people that are in the know want. That's not what they want. Right?
Yeah, you're absolutely right about that, Tom. Yeah. And look, we got disclosure. When you had David Grush back in 2023 testifying under oath that we are in fact in possession of both craft and bodies, and they didn't prosecute him for lying under oath, and they didn't dispute any of the claims that he had said. They went
after Grush, though. After he testified in front of Congress,
right?
They tried to go after him under the Espionage Act.
Right.
To shut him down further. And Mike, that's probably some of the stuff that shut down his additional op-ed that he was going to do because of the lawsuits and the threats he was getting from the federal government.
So he didn't want to give them additional evidence to use against him.
No.
So he kept his mouth shut. Right. So we've already gotten people in the know from the government that have publicly stated that we are in possession of craft and bodies, including Dr. James Lukatsky, who in the Corbell interview confirmed that the United States is in fact in possession of a craft, and they were able to get inside of it. So we're getting information coming from people in the know that have been read in and telling us publicly, yes, they're real. Yes, they're here. So that information is already out, Tom. And you're right about
that's true, but that's not the same as the president or the Secretary of Defense or the Secretary of State or the National Security Advisor going public and saying, look, you know, this is real, and here's the supporting evidence.
Dealing with a lie that's so deep, it's like the Catholics coming out and saying, no, we didn't go ahead, and yeah, we did go ahead and rape all those little boys and all these different things, and we're going to admit it and come out of it. No, they try to keep it contained, right?
Yeah.
Not that we wanted to. We want the fucking truth. If they've known about for 80, 90, 100 years, then just be honest about it. The last thing we need is more lies and more cover-ups. If we know they're fucking lying, give us the truth when they know it. Give us the timelines. Let us start putting it together. Otherwise, it's just perpetuating a lie.
Well, you know that you're playing President Eisenhower's farewell speech, and he was going on and on about how he wanted the world to have peace and prosperity. While at the same time, he and Nixon and the CIA were basically coming up with a program to invade Cuba.
Yeah. You know who gave us the HMOs and the healthcare industry for the profit we have now? Nixon. Oh, wow, we can make money off of that. We can go ahead and get a profit and everything. Kaiser met with, like from Kaiser Permanente, met with fucking Nixon back in the day. There was a recording on it. There were a lot of things. It was the old boys network. Let's figure out how big money can make more money and monetize different areas that shouldn't be monetized. Same stuff they're doing with UFOs and technology that comes out of it. Tom, that could be something that could help humanity. And no, what do they do for it? They just look at it as a implement of war. Oh, it could give us this kind of energy, could give us this kind of output. If our enemies got this and they did that, look at the national security threat from that technology that we could go ahead and derive from this non-human intelligence. We have to take everything and lock it down. We can't use it anywhere because our enemy might use it someplace else. But in reality, the enemy already has the thing, and they're already it's like we're fighting against shit versus moving humanity forward. It's just like it's fucked up.
Can I ask Tom a question by chance? Go right ahead. Tom, I agree with you in your statement that a lot of the people in the UFO community, such like Jacques Vallée, Robert Hastings, Richard Dolan, you included, and others, that they have a lot of good ideas that they could offer this panel or the government as far as, you know, where to go. And I almost thought that they should have a round table and invite the credible people in the field to come and sort of give their opinion on what should happen next. Because, I mean, unfortunately, Stanton Freeman is no longer with us, but there's a lot of information that you and other people have that could contribute to, you know, the task force and help with the information that you have. So I want to ask you, if you had an opportunity to tell them things that you would suggest happen, what would you, if you were speaking to Representative Burleson, what would you tell him?
I wouldn't speak to Burleson because it's a waste of time. He's a politician. He's not going to be able to get anything done. For what we need to do, you talk with Lou and other people who are dealing with people in the executive branch could potentially get to it, but they've already got the concept of what we have to deal with. We can give them the ideas, but the reality is we have tens of millions of files that need to get put through a pipeline to quickly determine, is this something about a weapons program or energy program or other stuff that we need to keep quiet for another 10 years? 80% of the stuff, maybe 30 or 40% of the stuff, and like 50, 60, 70% of the stuff is going to say, you know what, that stuff we can go ahead and take it and push it out to the public, and it's going to become a frickin' race because the next administration we're going to get that's come in is not going to be going for this.
Well,
this
I agree,
is our
Tom.
opportunity to take the data, find the people who can be instrumental in getting the data out, and just pushing it. Right?
I agree, Thomas. I was asking Tom Whitmore. I agree with you. I'm not trying to. But I was asking Tom Whitmore if you had, what would you tell them if you were able to tell them?
All right, you guys take it. I'll be right back.
What advice would you give them?
I think we have a problem. What I tell them is we've got legal problems because there's a whole cluster of national security laws that maintain this wall of secrecy. And, you know, basically the Espionage Act and other laws and regulations that make it illegal to disclose classified information. And I think there would have to be some kind of a carve out for that. Or, you know, one idea that's been floated is a kind of an amnesty, you know, a truth commission that enables amnesty for anyone that discloses the information so that they wouldn't be charged under the Espionage Act and these other national security laws that enforce the secrecy. And it ultimately lies with the Congress to be able to create our laws. And they're if anything, and now here's another inconsistency. The Congress keeps passing laws that increase the power of the national security state. You know, they keep passing this, what was it? It was the Patriot Act, and they keep renewing it over and over and over. And
it's dead now.
I think this is a big part of the problem. Now,
another thing got rid of FISA, didn't they, Tom?
Yeah, the FISA court, they didn't renew that.
FISA.
So now I have heard that the FBI has been going around and getting input from certain more reliable people in the community. An example is David Marler, who has his archive in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And it is excellent. It's wonderful. And I encourage anyone that is interested in UFO history to visit it. And he's just a top drawer, top flight person. And I think they've talked to him and they've talked to other people. I'm not sure exactly what they're up to. They seem to be on the level, like they're honestly trying to get input about this whole subject.
Right.
And I know Marler has addressed some other government agency or another, he was invited. And I hope they keep doing that. Now, the only thing that I'm seeing with Jacques Vallée is he has certain people that he likes, like Gary Nolan and some other people, but he generally refuses to participate in just about anything. And he has turned down so many opportunities, to get involved in projects and groups and programs and things. And he's way up in years now, and he's basically retiring from the community.
He is. And you're right about that, Tom. But I have a question for you real quick. The other day, Thomas and I were covering an interview that Lou Elizondo did, and he was asked directly about MJ-12 and does it still exist today. His answer was that now it would be more like MJ-27, but they call it by a different name. And Thomas and I were saying that if you were in the audience when we were covering this, you might be able to share your opinion of that. So before we wrap up the show tonight, I want to ask you, what do you think about what Lou said about the new incarnation of Majestic 12?
Oh, I'm sure he's right. And, things evolve over time. And when, assuming that the Roswell case is true, and they did recover a craft and bodies and all that, the president and the Secretary of Defense and certain people like Vannevar Bush, they were probably freaked out. They were truly freaked out. And they thought, oh, we've got to keep this, to a very small group under super secrecy. Well, over time, and they probably recovered more craft and more bodies and all this stuff. And so, and there's a whole operational infrastructure that has to occur. I mean, you recover the craft and then it has to be stored, and then you have to have people look at it and try to analyze it and understand it. And you have scientists that are, studying the bodies and all this kind of thing. And it's going to expand over time, I would think. And I would think that the people that are read in, they've been only read into compartments of it. Okay. And very few people really have an overview of the whole thing. And one of those people, I wouldn't be surprised if it was Dick Cheney. That is one of those people that really, was able to read into the whole thing. And I believe that it's been more like a matrix, because you've got all these different government agencies, the Department of Energy, the Department of Defense, you have, upwards 16 intelligence agencies, and then you have the State Department, the National Security Council, the whole national security state. And there are probably persons within that whole matrix that are read into at least parts of it, if not all of it. And how many, we don't know. I've heard as many as 200. Okay, because over time, after 80 years, if we're recovering craft and aliens and all that, I mean, the thing is built, there's probably a whole lot of stuff that's been recovered.
Well, thank you, Tom. I appreciate the answer, and thank you for coming in and joining us. It's been a hell of a show for Friday. We covered a lot of stuff.
Everybody, Friday Night Disclosure, my friends. We didn't get to say national security enough times, but I guess we have to start expanding that words into witness and experiencer.
Yeah. Plus, we had another extended episode tonight. We went over 3 hours.
I know. God damn it.
Yeah, it's okay. It was a good conversation.
What it is what it is. We had a
Our
fun
drinks
time, right?
Our drinks weren't stiff. Oh no, that's a good proof. There is not enough national security. We're totally still there.
No,
3 hours
you're
later.
not on drink number 3. You're still on drink number 1.
Right. It's true.
Great show.
It's
Great
true.
show.
It's true. Well, thank everybody for coming out to this episode of Disclosure tonight. Holy cow, fun time to hang out with friends. To begin any super chats, I think we did, maybe. Where's it at? Yeah, Steve Mateo. My compliments on the great audio. So somebody liked the audio. Thank you very much. But if the guy can hear something that's wrong through his expensive headphones, he can tell me what's wrong. They don't already know what's wrong from some of the clips where they come in with a bit of harshness to it. But
he said he's going to email you, so we'll deal with that when it comes in. Yeah, why not?
Figure it out. Absolutely.
He's more than welcome. And before we wrap up and leave, let's one more time tell the audience, if you enjoyed the show tonight, please like and subscribe. It helps us to get the word out, and of course, the cost is always free.
And it helps with YouTube if you subscribe or give us a thumbs up or give us a comment. It shows an interaction whether you like it or don't like it. It helps grow the show and get up in their internal rankings, which lets more people get exposed to it. You know, it's kind of like COVID, but something you want to get.
Yes, it can go viral, but in a good way.
Yes, absolutely. We're going to get to it. All right, there we go. So I'll leave it on this, as we usually say, my friends. Mike, thanks for being around.
Oh, my pleasure, Thomas. Thanks for putting it all together.
Tom, everyone in the back. Ryan, for getting your name corrected, finally. Thank you.
And Jay Albertson for joining us, and Tom Whitmore for coming in. Yeah, it was nice having our friends come in.
Yes.
Great show. This is great show. This is the place for disclosure. This is the best place to be for disclosure, right here.
Absolutely.
Especially if you're not too serious.
And Mike, as we usually say at the end of every episode of Disclosure tonight, eyes open. No, first, okay, that's got to stop. Eyes open, no fear, be safe, everybody. But no, come on, fucking play it. That's a phone. That's not it. Here we go. Absolutely. And we'll catch you in the flip side. Good night, everybody. See you soon. Bye-bye.